Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 366 for the week of August 21st, 2018. My name is Ryan Higgins. Good Lord, there's a lot of people here. Who's here?
Brock Sager.
Screw the hub.
Whoa.
Scott Shea.
F the hub, Toby.
Jesus.
Love the hub, Charlie.
There we go.
And neutral on the hub, Kevin.
And we have a very special guest from the great state of Canada.
It's not a state.
It's funny. Maybe it's not funny. I don't know.
No, it's not funny.
We debate it sometimes, but I'm Andrew.
Hello, Andrew. I think listeners of the podcast would recognize. Oops, sorry.
I'm wondering if they know who he is. He is a legend in the comic scene in Canada.
He's a legend here at the Comic Conspiracy.
He's a legend at the Comic Conspiracy.
Andrew Nelson-Mendez, longtime Patreon backer.
Well, I guess if you say like 6 months is a long time.
It's longer than a lot of people.
Yeah, most people do 1 month and realize what they backed and get out.
Andrew, has Bryce Larson said your name?
Technically,
yeah.
And he also said I didn't matter once, I think.
All right.
That's why you came on after he left, right?
Yeah.
Be truthful.
I mean, I don't want to start anything, but
Do it.
Our live studio audience.
Nadia in the back is cheering for it.
Come on, Bryce is still going to listen to this.
No,
which
Bryce
means
will
you've got to
drive
get
back
him
for
fired
this.
up.
The funny thing is, Bryce has no idea what he says 2 seconds after he says it, so he just talks and then he's on to the next thing. It doesn't matter what he said because, yeah, it's fine. We love you, Bryce. What are you doing here?
I'm visiting San Francisco, and I technically visited LA. I came down for a Power Rangers convention that was last weekend.
You're from
Very
Canada.
nice.
Yeah, I'm also from Canada on the East Coast in Quebec and the city of Montreal. Oh, now you guys can e-stalk me if you want. All that information.
And you came down for a Power Rangers con, right?
Yeah.
This is the one in Anaheim, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember, Toby, you're looking at me.
Huh?
You're looking at me.
No, I'm not.
You saw
I'm looking at the bag behind you.
Okay.
It's got Spider-Man on it.
You saw the Power Ranger stuff, right?
We sell those $2.99.
They had like all the. It was this last weekend, right? It just ended.
Yeah, it just literally ended 2 days ago.
I actually legitimately had no idea about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I should have, though, but I really did not have any idea about it.
So you drove up here, and now you're up here for the rest of the week visiting San Francisco?
Like, I don't even know why.
I don't know why you're
weekend.
here. San Francisco is much more interesting than we are, but that's fine. You're here. So
Well,
that's good.
I did put, as you say, long time backer. I wanted to see where my money was going for once.
I'm so sorry.
It's obviously not to more mics and more chairs.
Yeah. Oh, Brock
Or
is just
food.
Brock is just so bitter about this stuff all the time.
I have been a roadie for Geekbox and this for so long, and I keep saying, get an extra set of this. Get this. No, those cables won't work.
Maybe
So
when
why did you let the roadie on the air?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe when he steps up to being like a contributing member instead of just a roadie.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how many
That
more
doesn't
can you plug
contribute
in?
anything you set up then.
5?
I
Jerk.
can bring you 5 mics.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're still mine.
Okay.
I'm not giving them to you, but I can bring them sometimes.
Now
Okay.
I know what I remember why I needed to bring the
Pizza?
the P-Touch thing to label.
Oh,
I need
the
to
label
the
the mics. Yeah, so we can see if we find that bad mic. Hopefully, one of us
So,
doesn't have
Andrew, as a Patreon, if you were listening to this episode so far, would you feel like you're getting
it.
your
Just
money's worth?
take your money.
I'd like to think so this time.
So we always like to ask our listeners their secret origin,
Our guests.
our guests as well.
We don't ask the listeners.
Well, we asked the listeners. We talked to some people about how they got on the comics. So, comic books, I'm assuming you like them in some fashion. Or you're not, I don't know why you're listening to this nonsense.
Would it be weird if I said this is where I get most of my comic book news from?
No,
Really?
I've heard that from a handful of people.
Really?
But yeah, sure.
Well,
But-
actually, I get them from here, too, so sorry.
Yeah, Toby doesn't even read the Facebook thread where I post all the news
No.
that we're going to talk about this week.
Because I have
so.
to have a reason to yell at Ryan afterwards.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
So when
You
do you,
mean
when do you
during?
Oh, yeah.
during yes.
Yeah.
So when do you?
I didn't read it this week. That's just
Yeah, you never do either.
I know I do sometimes.
No one does. Kevin's
Even
like,
when there's a homework assignment.
There wasn't actually a
No,
homework assignment.
Ryan doesn't
You
read it
thought
either,
was.
and he doesn't post it.
no. What happened this week was the
What's on-
students
what's on-
gave themselves homework. The teacher's like, I didn't even do that. I have no idea what
Wait,
you're
that
talking
was
about.
homework for this week?
No.
Oh,
I give up.
okay. I did that homework in 2 minutes, or less than 2 minutes.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Did you guys all fill out your brackets?
Oh, I still have to finish up. Okay.
Oh,
In the Bryce grip.
What?
You're doing
I
the
already
Bryce.
gave up on Ryan's bracket because he knocked out Cable in round 3, so it's already invalid.
So Okay, 12 topics here. Kevin Sharp gave us
Once.
Andrew, how are you feeling about your investment?
Kevin Sharp.
At some point, I'll say my secret origin, I guess, but it's good.
No, the next time Bryce is on,
Yes.
Kevin Sharp has he had this conversation with Bryce that Bryce immediately forgot, but about doing a specific top list of some comic related stuff, and
he put it in a March Madness kind of bracket to make it simple.
No, you're not paying F for you. Minus F.
They-
No, negative F. What is it called?
It's a fail. It's pass-fail class.
Yeah. Double F.
Pass, fail, fail.
They we were supposed to do it during the episode, Bryce's last episode a few weeks ago. We just got so sidetracked with everything else going on in that episode that would have added another friggin' hour to the podcast. So
That's what the listener wanted, therefore you didn't give it to him.
Pulled an audible in the middle of it. Well, is Kevin a listener? I don't know. I said we're going to do it when he's back in September. So when Bryce is back, we'll do that. I will
repost the homework assignment in September.
Was it Josh writing? I think it was Josh who posted the X-Men character bracket. Bracket.
March Madness.
Challenge of all the X-Men characters. High seed on all the big guys, and low seed on all the crappy characters, and of course. I'm working my way slowly through the bracket. Every couple of days, you guys did it in 30 seconds. I'm like, no, I got to give this time. Got to think about it for a while. So, of course, the Morrissey characters are doing a bit of an upset, but that's to be expected. Cable went out on my second round, third round,
round 3.
Yeah,
which made it so I don't care about round 4.
How did Hope go out right away?
Because Bryce likes her.
She beat Maggie, but she wasn't going to beat anyone else. Hope's garbage tier, man.
False.
Charlie's pissed now.
The Hope Hero Click is really good when paired with the proper figure.
But Scott, I posted this question on that Facebook page
again
with that picture.
Back to the original topic, by the way.
Are you treating that bracket as
never mind.
Who would win in a face-off between these two characters, or are you treating it as I like this character as a member of the X-Men
that was my
better
question
than
too.
the other?
So when you look at your brackets, so everybody out there, look at your bracket. This is how you have to look at it. You're a writer. How do you write your comic, and how do you write this character? Is there any way for this character that you like to be written to beat another character? Yes.
I just did my favorite. I don't care about any of this.
Ryan did his favorite. You can put that down there. For me, I'm a writer.
I mean, Dupe wins either way because he's also the strongest X-Man, so it doesn't matter.
Can you go over a list of Dupe's powers, please?
Sure, any power he wants. He's Dupe. He's ridiculously strong. He can teleport. He can access parallel dimensions.
He can do whatever he wants. I would like you to support.
He's indestructible.
I would like you to support
any book he's been in.
No, I've never seen him lift a car.
He can do anything he wants. He's Dupe. He's god
They
level.
are very, very loose with Dupe's powers.
Yeah.
Because he's a joke character.
He's like the Impossible Man or something like that. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Anyway, all that aside, Andrew, your secret origin, please.
Andrew's been waiting. He's been all right, ready to go.
But wait! No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so I did say it was going to be special, and I guess it's not anymore.
No, it's always special.
I started with Archie comics.
Yeah.
Excellent. Straight up Archie comics.
Nice.
Well, the digest, because, 5-6-year-old flying to the Caribbean to visit family. And also, I would get, I think Toby's a little bit more familiar with this, Tintin.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah, so
I like
read
him
a lot
already.
of those. Wait, you didn't like me before?
I liked you before, but I like you now.
Oh, I have to assume Tintin's huge in Quebec and
Oh, yeah.
French Canada.
Yeah.
Bigger than here, probably.
Well, yeah, definitely
Yeah.
bigger than
Yeah.
the States, but for
It
sure.
was big in Barcelona that had a Tintin store.
No, it's definitely not that big. Okay. It's definitely not that big. And then, I watched a lot of the 90s cartoons. So 90s X-Men,
Yep,
90s Spider-Man.
Good man.
And then, I sort of, once I started listening to podcasts, I started picking up a few comics. So I've read the early issues of Power Rangers and
Were they good?
whatnot. Yeah, they were good. I haven't read what they are currently because apparently it gets super crazy now. So I have to start up again. But when it comes to comic stuff, I'm sort of one of those. I mostly watched media more than I did read the comics.
Yeah,
and
it's fine.
Yeah.
Did you go to I'm assuming you see all the movies and
Most
Most of them, yeah.
And I read Ultimate Spider-Man at some point back
that's a good book.
during its first 100 issue.
Miles
run.
or Peter? Miles, obviously. Peter now. If you say first 100 issues.
Yeah, Peter.
Yeah.
I never did get. No, I'd read the first issue of Miles because my friend gave it to me for my birthday once.
Nice.
Yeah, that's sort of my secret origin in some way, shape, or form.
All right.
So, big question for you: do you watch Riverdale?
Oh my god. Okay. Yes. Are you caught up finally?
I have 4 episodes left of season 2.
He spoils everything for me anyway.
Man.
It's your turn.
Wait, are you going to spoil it?
What level of spoiler am I allowed to go to?
5.
Wait, when did we add 2 more levels?
You're a backer. Do whatever you want.
Actually, second of all, I forgot to add in my secret origin. I'm more of I'm a big anime fan, so I've read a ton of manga as well.
Cool.
Nice. Forgot to add that in, so Dragon Ball and all that stuff, write that all in French.
Yeah, I mean that's
Riverdale.
Yeah. Just
Down with Riverdale or down with Riverdale?
Wait, what? No, it's great. I love it. It's really good.
What is the last episode I just saw? Are you watching
How
it?
far behind are you, Toby?
I'm not sure.
Have you at least
I'm
finished
second
season 1?
season
I'm
behind.
not sure.
So
I think I did. I'm not sure.
Did you find out who killed Jason Blossom?
That's the end of first season.
I'm going to say no.
And then
Say it to him.
the Black Hood
It's
is
a year-old. Tell him who killed Jason.
no.
There may be listeners that
Yeah.
haven't, and I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah,
Ryan's that guy every week.
I may have not watched the last 2 episodes of season 1.
It's pretty
I remember
obvious.
the Jericho guy is in there, and he was fucking people up, and then Jughead is kind of cool, and then
He gets cooler.
yeah,
the Jericho guy.
the Jericho guy.
Who's that?
He's like someone's dad. He's Jughead's dad.
Okay.
Oh, I think the actor is Skeet Ulrich.
Yeah.
Jericho guy.
From Jericho.
I've seen Jericho.
He was on a TV
Jericho
series
was
called
fucking
Jericho.
Awesome. Jericho was Walking Dead before Walking Dead with
Yeah.
no vampires. I mean, no zombies. No zombies, not vampires.
Also no vampires.
Yeah.
So wait, did you figure out who killed? Or sorry, did you find out who killed? Did you find out who is the Black Hood?
Because they come back to that, right? In the finale, because they solve it halfway through, and then it's but did they solve it? And then there's this whole other plot with them closing the school and setting up the prison and all this crap. But I know they come back.
Close Riverdale?
Yeah, I know they come back to the Black Hood stuff. So no,
Let's go back to the prison. What's happening in prison?
They want to turn the school into a prison.
Yeah,
Really?
The lodges are buying up sections of Riverdale, and they're
Southside.
Yeah. Sodale,
All right.
and they want to turn Sodale into a for-profit prison, and yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
all the Southside Serpents jail those jerks. No, they're cool. That's Riverdale.
All right.
That's just Riverdale. Jesus, that's Jughead and his dad. That's their gang.
Jericho Man.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have any theories on who the Black Hood is?
It's Arrow.
Well, when they solved it, I was like,
Todd.
that doesn't seem like this is the end, because it kind of just ends. But they don't really go back to it.
That's Amel.
They mention it once or twice, but they never really focus back on it. So I legitimately have
He's
no
the hood
clue.
in every show
Okay.
possible.
It's some guy with green eyes, and I don't know anyone with green eyes. On
Have
the
you
show.
guys
It's the
seen the
best
new
one I
Robin
watch.
Hood trailer where he looks like Green Arrow?
Arrow? No.
Anyways, continue. Sorry.
Oh, I just don't want to spoil it. But
Yeah, no
if you
spoilers.
think about it, it's super obvious.
I'm sure 5 minutes before it happens, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, okay, I know who it is." Yeah, so
Okay.
it's not Chick.
What?
Dude's super wafy.
What?
He's way too small.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Veronica.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's definitely not Veronica.
All right. It's Betty.
I'm pretty sure it's a big dude,
It's
big-ish dude.
Oh, it's fucking Jericho Man.
I have no idea.
Jericho Man.
We'll see.
Because he's badass.
Let's just say that you're not far off in that area that you're in.
Excellent. Oh, it's fucking Luke Perry because he trained the Vampire Slayer and Buffy the Vampire. Wait, did he train? He did.
Okay, you definitely didn't see the finale of season 1 then.
Luke Perry trained.
If Luke Perry was the
Wait,
Black
did he
Hood, that would
train?
be shocking.
Or was he just in
no,
the
he was the boyfriend.
and he
was
and he
like,
might be a vampire.
Because that would mean there were 2 Luke Perrys running around the show, and he shot himself.
heavy watch loss and all these other weird shows, is quite possibly 2 Luke Perrys in this show.
I think what we've established is that Toby watches TV when he's about to go to sleep.
Yeah, and it's weird fever dreams about.
We've already established that.
Well, we're going to move on.
Shows cross over with each other.
Feel free to jump in. We're going to do some questions, too, so we want your answers to some of these questions. We're going to do some news. And
lots of news.
Randomly babble about whatever.
Sounds good.
Marvel announced this past week they are going to do a new, or actually not a new series, the first series with the actual title Ironheart, featuring Riri Williams. I think it's actually called the Riri Williams: Ironheart.
Yes.
By Eve Ewing, no relation to Al Ewing as far as I know. With art by Kevin Labranda. Now,
the cover's horrible.
A lot of people were pretty excited for this. Obviously,
yes, me.
Pretty famous writer coming in doing some Marvel comic work. Obviously, popular character in certain groups. 4 variant covers that are all really, really cool, and
a main cover nobody wants to order.
One hell of a main cover. Amy Reeder is the artist on the regular cover.
I know, I usually really like her stuff.
Yeah, she's a really good artist. Now, normally, just the story...
I mean, look, I'll be honest, the cover doesn't bother me as much as all the people on the internet are bothered by it, but...
Marvel is known for less than stellar art
weird.
in the last handful of years, right,
really?
Toby?
It's kind of weird. But
Toby,
I'm
as the art guy, would you say Marvel's art has been... not up to par on a lot of their titles.
It has not up. So my theory is that a while back when it became in for indie art, and I'm not saying that in a bad light because I think every art style has its purpose, but when that became in, I think that kind of started the evolution of lackluster art at Marvel. And for some reason, it became okay over the years because it probably saved them a penny over time too. And now it's normal.
Well, they have Jem Bartel and a few other people are doing some really good covers for it. And I'm in the Marvel retail forum all the time, right?
Yes. Do you tell them?
And so this got posted, right,
yes.
by Marvel on the retailer forum.
Have you gotten banned from that one yet?
No, not yet. And every single reply was, that's not the final cover, right? Because that's a really bad cover. Every single retailer was like, I can't sell this if that's the cover.
Here's the real question. If you order that one and all the variants, do you have to order a set amount of that really bad one to get all the variants? Or can you order all the variants as much as you want and then you don't necessarily order like 10 of the bad ones?
We'll find out next week when preview sets.
Like, I'm looking at the cover, and if you take Riri off, it's a nice cover.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is.
The idea, I can see what she was trying to do. It's just kind of weird.
It looks like
there's the water and the building, and
it's a cool idea.
Stuff.
I asked Leanne,
pregnant
right?
mechanical bird.
She's an artist, right? So
have
they
asked Leanne to do covers because she would crush this.
I said what is going on with this cover? She said, well, the position of the legs is correct. It's just not a great shot, right? She said like the neck is way too long, and if you're looking at the picture of the arm on the left hand side, so her right hand arm, she said it's way too long. Like the perspective is correct in some places, but not in others, and it's this really jarring image. Like, I'm okay with stylized, but there's so little stylized in this. It's just
it almost be better if the legs are.
It's very Mr. Potato Head.
It looks like I said. It looks like E.T.
Yeah.
It's got
but
like
if the legs are like behind her up and she's coming down, it would even be better.
Yeah, it's just
radio.
It's just a poorly. Oh, this will be the image for the episode.
Hold on, this is my Kevin Sharp comment.
Yeah. Hey, but I really, I think Do you have the variant covers on here too? I like the one where she's sitting on the armor. I kind of feel like that should have been the
I think that's
main
the Jem Bartel cover. And all the covers are pretty decent.
Yeah.
Now, Toby, you had some complaints not just about that main cover. You don't like the armor.
Not really.
She's in a new suit, and it's very busy.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man
symbol. What is that symbol?
That's just her symbol?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would think it's an Ironheart.
Like an actual heart?
Well, she has a heart thing on her helmet, too.
Ryan, how about as a retailer, a Riri Williams series? Exciting?
I'm cool with it now.
I mean, some of those variant covers will sell. Like any book, I'll go decent on number one, especially because it is a writer with a following. Pre-orders will obviously determine what we'll get.
Number you hit.
I don't have a book to really link this to, so we're going in kind of blind. I'll get a decent amount of number one. Very few of them. If all those covers are open order, which I don't think they are, if they're all open order, I would get way more of the other covers and very few of the main cover, just because I think it's a poor cover. But yeah, if I look at Champions, or if I look at her run during Iron Man, or if I look at other books that they launched around the same time, I don't have the highest hopes for the series. Just I think it'll sell well to its target audience, but I don't think a lot of, the people grabbing Venom or, X-Men Red.
Do you think they should have aimed it more at the young adult market?
No, because that market doesn't matter. That market's not there for these books either, right? It wouldn't have sold more. It would sell less, probably, right? I don't sell Moon Girl at all. I'll sell a single copy.
No, more like
So do you feel there's the demand for the Riri Williams character strong enough for a solo series outside of Iron Man?
Sure.
Right now?
Sure, yeah. I think, and this is what I said with Marvel, when all your big books are succeeding, that's the time to experiment with new characters and more recent characters and try new things. And bringing back the Iceman book, I don't have a lot of hopes for it, but this is the time to do it. I'm a little concerned because there's a lot of these all coming out at the same time. So we're getting they kind of focused away from these characters, and now they're bringing them all back. So Riri Williams, Iceman, all the characters that are in West Coast Avengers from this week. Trying to think what else. That Wasp series. These are characters that just crashed and burned immediately when they were launched. So this is the time because there are more eyes on them. And Black Panther, which obviously was a very successful first issue that we could barely sell more than a couple copies for. Our numbers on this new Black Panther series are way up, right?
I'm just surprised that
when the movie came out, I still couldn't sell Black Panther.
I'm just surprised in general because I kind of felt like with the launch of the new Iron Man book, that would have been the time to do it. I kind of feel like we've taken so much attention off of Riri since Bendis left. Which
she's still been around, but yeah. Well, again, even my numbers on Tony Stark are very soft. Nothing against Dan Slott. I like him as a writer, but Iron Man's a tough seller. You're one of the most popular comic book characters in the world now, and it's tough to sell an Iron Man book. He's just never been a great seller in comics, and I don't see why. It'll sell 100,000 copies at number one because of all the variant covers, and there'll be a bunch of store exclusives, and people will go crazy for number one. And it'll be down to 25,000 by issue 3 or 4. That's just the way these books work, right?
But I'm not expecting Ironheart to be the top tier book, but
it'll go
as
16
always,
or...
as long as there's top tier books, I would like these kind of books to be on the side.
Yeah, of course. It'll go 18 or 24 issues, and that's I don't expect the writer will stay on very long. I expect she'll do a year, maybe. But, this is not cynical. This is just the nature of these books, right? And this is just what happens 9 times out of 10.
I am really excited for the book, though.
Yeah.
I signed on pretty much right away.
Yeah.
Not through the hub.
So if your choice was Riri like this in her own series or her as Iron Man...
Yes.
With the Iron Man banner on the book,
yes.
You would take this?
Yeah, because I think Iron Man still sells, and so... I don't mind characters being replaced occasionally, but this was the major problem with Marvel 2016 and 2017 is their main characters were unrecognizable. Making characters like Ironheart, like Mighty Thor, it's like the new Wasp, totally fine with all this.
Just not all at once.
Not all at once when you're replacing the characters that already exist. And this is not like a man, woman, white, black thing. That's not what this is. This is about taking characters that have an audience that sell, that bring in people to the industry, and then adding stuff to it. Again, my complaint is always with everything. Nothing has to replace stuff. You add to it, right? And you add these characters. She was a very popular supporting character in Iron Man, right? And her taking over as Iron Man for a short time was fine, but you can have 2 series running concurrently, and if it doesn't sell, well,
roll Tony back
at the right time. Yeah. Well, no, and he'll always be there, right? Yeah. So I think it's good to push her into the people that want to buy Iron Man, that want to buy Tony Stark Iron Man, have their book. The people that want to buy Riri Williams have their book.
Honestly, I think that's kind of what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah,
because
as
much as I loved the Iron Man book when she was in it and she took over, I don't have much interest in Iron Man now, but I will buy the Ironheart book.
But you can also understand why the Iron Man fan base, although not very graceful about it, expressed dislike of Riri Williams.
Sure. Well,
in the sense that
how many of those are Iron Man fans, and how many of those are just
yes, fair enough. But
kids?
But you could frame the argument as I want to buy an Iron Man book with Tony Stark in it.
Sure.
And all that is available is this Ironheart.
Right. Well, again, go back to the Death of Superman. Go back to Breaking of Batman. Go back to black suited Spider-Man. Right. Go back to
the Brubaker's Cap.
Sure.
Winter Soldier comes in and takes on the mantle. But it was a natural story progression. Winter Soldier hadn't been around, but it was a character that Brubaker brought back to the forefront.
There are times where it makes more sense, and there are times where it doesn't. I think, if you go back to Secret Wars, right? I mean, they replaced all these characters, different versions of different costumes, and there was a kind of interest in that. But when they did it in the more modern day, it hasn't clicked. The Death of Superman worked because this character was gone for a little while, but you knew he was coming back, right? And it was part of a story. I think with a lot of these characters, it didn't really feel like when Marvel replaced these characters that it was part of a story. It just felt like we're going to just wholesale replace them. And it didn't feel like a story when DC did it either. During the DCU stuff, we talk about this all the time. When they made Gordon Batman and when they depowered Superman, this stuff all kind of came out of nowhere. So, again, one or two here and there is fine. Almost all your major characters all at the same time. Like Superior Spider-Man. We've talked about that book up and down for years on this podcast. It worked great. People complained about it because people are going to complain, but it was a good story and it worked and it built naturally from it, and you knew it was a temporary thing.
And just the structure of the way they told the story matters. I mean,
but that launched a whole bunch of different Superior stuff.
Yeah, but
all kind of a flopped.
Yep.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is Dan Slott very intelligently started to sort of build up sort of the story, build up Doc Ock, then had the natural transition, and then had certain sort of chapter elements where you still felt like you were following the same story.
Right. And with Doc Ock, you have such a long history, right? Riri Williams is introduced and just, boom, immediately takes over. With the Death of Superman, there was sort of a mystery to this. Azrael is maybe a little closer because he didn't have Azrael only been in a couple comics prior to that, right? But again, it was this sort of like numbered crossover event, and you knew Batman was coming back at the end of it. But even at that point, I don't think fandom was what it is now. I mean, people bitched about it, and in like Comic Buyer's Guide or something like that. But like by the time their letters got there, the solicitations were already out that Batman was coming back, so it didn't matter. Now it's just like freak out 3 months before the book's even released.
So let's talk about other changes.
Well, if only we'd had the fine cream of the crop of internet fandom when She-Hulk replaced the Thing on the FF after the Secret Wars. Can you imagine?
That was a huge groaner.
That was just a groaner for me because the Thing was my favorite character.
Oh, that was the
my
worst.
favorite FF part.
Really?
Right, but I'm saying imagine that happening now in the Twitter age.
Why do I want to see
reactions you would hear?
Why do I want to see like a YouTube cartoon
that's
of just a bunch of comic book nerds?
But that's also part of the reason nowadays, whenever they make these changes, we always sort of start off talking like, okay, this will last a year or so. Like, we go very circular in the way that once you've read comics long enough, you see the way stuff goes. They're always going to go back to the classic FF. They're always going to go back to Clark Kent and Superman. They're always going to go back to...
She-Hulk replacing Thing, was that the first time they actually replaced someone on the team? Because Medusa was on the team for a while, right? Before that? It wasn't like that was the first time they've done that. And now they've replaced members on the FF all the time, so it wouldn't even matter.
But as I said, all this is sort of circular. We all kind of come at it from a sort of cynical level of we've seen this before. It will always revert.
Like, think about the people that didn't like brown suit Wolverine. Are they going to think the same way about
people that not
chef
like
suit,
hot
suit? Yeah, chef suit
wearing,
we're all
getting old.
Hot butter knife cutting.
I think the
new
problem
Wolverine.
Is
well, I'll be the first one to admit I don't think I've liked a Wolverine costume in like the past 10 years or so.
You're a whiskers guy, aren't you?
Clothes. But I think we're all getting old because when I was a kid, I didn't care when they replaced members and stuff like that. And not till I was older, I was like, no,
it's also a little different. It's also a little different on the FF or like in Alpha Flight when.
And nobody gives a fuck about Alpha Flight.
Yeah, well, I mean,
hey, you got the Canadian here, man. Come on, please, dude.
Well, even in Canada, we don't give a fuck about Alpha Flight.
They got Wolverine. That's all they need.
I hope my buddy Miguel isn't listening because Alpha Flight is absolutely his favorite team of all time. So.
That first 2 years of that Byrne run still hold up as good comics. Sorry, Alpha Flight haters. Those are good comics.
It was amazing. And when they first came in, I mean, X-Men 120, 121, when they first came in, they set Alpha Flight up as a protagonist team against the. Byrne did a great job of introducing them and then spinning them eventually into their own comic, which was. I mean, those first couple of years were amazing.
I took your comment, Ryan, to mean nobody cares about Alpha Flight now.
Yeah.
My point was replacing the Thing on the FF or replacing Guardian with a female version of him. It's a little different on a team book than when you say we're going to publish Iron Man and instead of Tony Stark, it is...
Yeah.
I don't know, is she a teenager? I was about to say a teen girl.
Or you're going to replace the Incredible Hulk with Amadeus Cho and Hercules. Wow, that was a winner.
That was kind of a similar...
that was almost crickets for this podcast.
That was sort of a similar reaction where there was never there wasn't a hint that was like a temporary thing because they launched 2 books and it just sort of was the new status quo. It wasn't like, okay, this is Hulk's gone for 5 issues or even 24 issues. It just sort of... They just kept that going. So when they did it again with Joe, and they did it a little while ago, like, oh God, come on, like get back to just normal Hulk. And then they don't even do that. People seem to like Immortal Hulk, but it's just not regular Hulk. And so if you're a fan of this character, I don't care if Amadeus Cho has his own series, or I don't care if I like Hercules, but he doesn't need to take over the Hulk book. Like that doesn't make any sense.
He could just be Hercules in the Hercules book.
Yeah.
But I understand why they did it at the time, because of the story Pac was telling took Hulk off the table for a little bit. But that was part of the narrative at the time, was we're taking Hulk off the table a little bit after World War Hulk.
Right.
And that's when they launched Hercules. And then that wrapped right back around when Hulk was ready to come back off the benches. They brought back the Hulk and gave him back.
I guess more to Amadeus Cho thing. There wasn't like a... It didn't feel like this was a temporary thing for a story arc or two that felt like this was now.
Well, because they went to all the trouble of shooting Banner through the eye with...
Yeah.
Spoiler.
So I hope the Riri Williams book does well. I hope they change that cover. Again, the retailer forum was like...
If I get a solid 24 issues...
Yeah,
I'd be just happy.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to last forever, but if there's a solid 4 storylines... Cool.
That's Ryan is not a Marvel hater, isn't this true?
He's totally a Marvel hater.
No, but wouldn't Ryan's life...
Oh, Ryan loves money, so he
doesn't Ryan want every comic to sell 200,000 copies?
Absolutely.
Yes, so he wants it to sell 200,000 copies and then hate it at the same time.
So are you going to pick up West Coast Avengers?
I had a customer
Of course I'm getting West Coast Avengers.
Me too.
No, you're not.
I am.
I was personally offended and flipping through it. I had a guy that came. I had a guy that came in the other day, and he was like, "Oh, I had bought comics since the '90s, but I heard about all these New Hawk comics and the Venom book." And I'm like, "Yeah, but
isn't that Donny Cates?
Yeah.
That
Cates.
should be good, right?
Yeah. But I'm like, just be. I told him just remember what drove you away in the '90s. Like don't just buy shit to buy shit, right? Buy it because you actually like it. Right, yeah. I was because everyone left during the '90s, and I was like, track down the trade paperbacks. I was like, don't get caught up in the speculation and the hype because it drives.
I blame Wizard Magazine for a hype.
Well, you can't blame them now, right? Yeah. That's what drives a lot of sales now. And again, I'm not going to complain too much because people are buying stuff, but it just swings the needle so far in directions between issues because who knows if an issue is going to be popular or not. I had Thor God of Thunder issues crabbing in the bin for 3 years, and suddenly every other jerk off that comes into the store is asking me for those books.
So
because it's all tied in with this Venom arc going on right
I always find it weird when we go over the sales charts and that kind of stuff, because looking at web analytics or podcast downloads, it always comes down to how many people are you reaching. You're always trying to get a sense of how many people are you reaching with your content. with comic books, it's really hard to tell that between digital sales and variant covers and paperbacks and everything else.
You can tell.
How do you get back to this is how many people who are currently reading like the Tom King Batman, for instance?
Again, you look at anything past issue about 4 or 5. That's how you know your actual sales.
But even like the Tom King Batman has a variant cover every single issue.
Yeah, but for the most part, people that are buying Batman are buying Batman, and they've been buying Batman this whole time. If you saw the numbers go up, short of Batman 50, if you see the numbers go up and down by humongous amounts, that's one thing. But Batman is
that's because one is an Artgerm cover.
Even the Artgerm covers don't go.
Ryan,
Ryan,
did you
hold
tell
up,
me that
hold up.
West Coast Avengers is a Sharknado crossover with legs?
Like I said,
with legs.
Like I said, personally offended.
Toby's looking at a preview of it, and it is sharks with legs.
There's a new Modok in it
Kate
too.
Bishop, Hawkeye on sharks with legs.
For the
running
listeners,
through a city.
Toby is flipping through the issue right now. That's what's being narrated for you.
Why do they have legs?
It's freaking terrible.
And you just
and I'm gonna get it.
Scott, there's a new Modok in it too.
Yes, new Modok, sharks with legs, guy in a bread outfit.
There's a bread man.
It's a bread. Is it a bread superhero?
See,
I'm getting this. I'm going to get this. You guys need to go out and get West Coast Avengers #1.
See,
Breadman, sharks with feet, and a new Modok.
I am legally obligated to read every comic featuring Quentin Quire, and I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can make it. I don't know.
Sharks with legs.
Yeah.
No, Tigra.
And Tigra.
Why is he big?
Giant Tigra.
Because it's a homage to Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Don't you get it?
Why is he having a Black Panther T-shirt on?
Because it's L.A. Because they're in They're on the West Coast. It's going to be all Hollywood like.
Are you like trolling me right now?
No, I'm 100% serious.
No, he's trolling you.
No, I'm 100%
and he's serious. The problem is
he's a very serious troll.
He's seriously trolling you, and it's for real, and he doesn't even have to try.
Why is Tigra
giant? Why are there sharks with feet?
Who is this motherfucker?
Why is there a new Modok?
Why do you read the name of the new Modok to him?
Brodok!
Why do you read what it stands for, too?
Bio-robotic organism designed overwhelmingly for kissing.
Scott, Brodok, hot new character. It's a brand new Marvel character. I'm not even kidding.
First appearance of Brodok. You gotta go out and
get it. Brand
new. That slabbed, Scott.
I am
9.5 or 9.8.
Yep.
I am not joking. It is the first appearance of a new Marvel character, so people will be at the.
See how this is going to play in Canada.
So people will be at the door tomorrow for this comic.
What the fuck?
Okay, hold on. So, not that well versed in West Coast Adventures. That's like a normal thing they do, or they just kind of mess with everything.
No.
Oh, okay.
West Coast Avengers is really the better Avengers team on a different book. This is not.
Isn't that like the one? Because if I could be I'm probably completely wrong. Hawkeye kind of starts the West Coast Avengers.
Yes, because he wants to be a leader, and they say, no, you can't be the fucking leader because we got Steve motherfucking Rogers. So he goes, well, fuck you, I'm going to go to the other coast and start my own Avengers. And that's how he started his own adventure.
So it's pretty much like
Mockingbird, Moon Knight.
That should be printed, what you just said should be printed in the cover of West Coast Avengers to catch people up.
He recruited Black Canary, Mockingbird, to be, his little love thing. And then you got Tigra, you have War Machine, and you have Wonder Man. Not to be mixed up with Wonder Bread, but Wonder Man. And who else was in there? Iron Man was Vision.
The White Vision.
Oh yeah, that's
Witch,
later. Yeah,
Scarlet Witch was in it later.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch, and then
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Yeah, Moon Knight. Man, you got Batman on the team, and then eventually. Yeah,
Green Arrow, Black Canary, Batman.
Yeah, the East Coast Avengers got like, oh man, this hockey guy's kind of radical. We gotta put them in like their little place. So they sent fake Captain America, U.S. agent, to take over the team, and then he was like, I'm the motherfucking man now, and the Hawkeye was like, fuck you, and then he got kicked out the team. So he started the Great West Lake Avengers thingy with Flatman and Big Bertha and Great Lake Avengers, yeah.
Comic history with Toby.
Yeah, we so need to do these.
This is like the monologue from the Ant-Man.
That's West Coast Avengers in a nutshell. Eventually, they all kissed and made up and became a super team. Don't you want to read this? It's so awesome. Epic Collection is coming out soon, by the way. You can order through Ryan.
Apparently, eventually they get a Brodock, so...
That answers my question.
Yeah, does it?
Well, it does answer the one I'm like, wait, is it really as good as he makes it sound?
It's absolutely as good.
One, I'm sold. And two, I might have a controversial opinion on this current iteration of West Coast Avengers. I think I'm low-key excited now. If it's not normally this ridiculous, but they're still doing all this ridiculous stuff, I kind of have a thing for
his definition. His summary is ridiculous of the original West Coast Avengers. That stuff's really good, but he makes it ridiculous. Sound ridiculous.
No, I'm sorry. Really I love Brodock. Brodock sounds amazing.
I think it's actually Bryce's new favorite character, by the way.
Let's talk about Bryce's new favorite character. That's Chef Wolverine. Steve McNiven, who was the artist on Return of Wolverine,
knives,
left randomly after issue number 1, and number 2, 3, and 4 would be done by Declan Shavley, who's a great artist. But they apparently are redesigning Wolverine, and man, it is a nothing generic ass.
I'm gonna let you finish.
So I have a
By the way, they also go back in time and they fight Doctor Doom, and they meet fucking original Ghost Rider on this fucking horsey, not on the motorcycle. All right, you can continue.
You're missing the best part of West Coast Avengers is when Scarlet Witch goes crazy and has ghost kids.
Oh, that was creepy.
Has puppet kids.
That was creepy.
Yeah, ghost kids.
Athena something Harkness. No,
Agatha.
Agatha. Yeah.
If you read Tom King's Vision, they teased a little of that in it.
Yeah.
If any listener would like to take the audio of Toby's West Coast Avengers monologue and pair it with images from all those issues so we can see this as a visual summary,
he'd get epileptic seizures.
That would be amazing. We will have a great prize for you, anybody who wants to do that.
And something for our YouTube channel.
I'll get them a prize. Just tell me what their favorite thing is.
But Wolverine. Let's go to Wolverine. Man,
do you have that image?
That's not as interesting as West Coast Avengers.
What's up with this costume? This is a bad costume.
I honestly
the combination of the chef outfit with the hot knives, cutting butter, I can just see him.
The one at the barbecue,
cooking up.
The one at the barbecue.
Yeah, I mean,
did you see the look on everyone's face in the background? They're like, "What the fuck?"
Okay,
is
I'm
this?
really mistaken. The hot knife thing happened before when he was possessed by this motherfucking demon.
I think so. Yeah.
And he had like flamey fucking shits on his little claw thingies.
Yeah.
So my thing with this is I just don't understand. They go through the whole bother of bringing back Jean Grey and then immediately change the costume away from anything classically recognizable.
Jean Grey's costume is terrible.
And I kind of feel like they're doing the exact same shit again. It's like, we're going to bring back Wolverine. We're going to get people excited.
This is
going to fuck with the way he looks so he doesn't look anything like
this is Wolverine's Superman black outfit.
All they need to do, right?
He's just a chef.
He'll have this costume through this arc. It's enough to make infinite action figures and statues and variant covers for the rest of
Not
eternity.
any I buy.
That's why they do this, right?
But they need to give it like extra arms like the Iron Spider.
It's a bad costume. It's a really bad costume. But, whatever.
So we've hunted for Wolverine.
Wolverine's
we're getting the return of Wolverine, and then we'll actually get Wolverine.
And then we'll actually
I feel like they're handling all of this really badly.
Well, I'll tell you what they're handling badly, and that's the relaunch of Uncanny X-Men. Do you hear what they're doing?
No.
Do you guys hear this? Okay, so Uncanny X-Men, starting in November.
Yeah.
Right? Weekly.
Yeah.
First arc is 10 issues long.
Yeah.
By basically all the creative teams of the people that are doing the different books.
Okay.
The first issue is $7.99.
Why?
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Because it's like a third 60-page.
I'm in. Here's my wallet.
Giant.
Here's my credit card. Take my money.
Yeah. You're a Marvel
you
fan.
can sign up for it on the hub.
$43 for your whole miniseries is not that big a deal when you're talking about greatness.
No. Is it going to be great?
Bryce called me ahead of time and told me I needed to represent the X-Men. This may or may not represent my own views.
Like big because there's a story like why I don't understand.
Buy it and read it. I have no idea.
I'm really bothered by it because she's a classic West Coast Avengers character. Just fucking West Coast in the butt.
Maybe she ran into some of Pym's weird giant growing tech.
That's actually a thoughtful solution for her giantness.
Thank God I've got his anxiety down. What were you saying about X-Men?
So I love weekly series. I love bi-weekly comics. a lot of people complain about them because they're expensive. I like them because they make me a lot of money. But and it just keeps people engaged, right? I have no problem with the weekly X-Men comics. Sign me up. $8 for the first issue, though. I don't care about the size.
Shit ton of variants.
Oh yeah, they already showed. There's 1,000 of them. That is asking a bit much. It's already weekly. Just make the book $3.99 and go from there. I don't think they need to do this like triple sized first issue, especially because it's going to be a bunch of garbage backup stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be like a third of the book's going to be totally worthless. Art's all right. Every time Marvel makes a decision I like, they make this weird asterisk to it. So a weekly X-Men series to kind of launch, fine. $8 cover price. Well, that really, unless I'm selling Action Comics worked at $8 because you only get 1,000 once, right? X-Men number 1, they do it. This is the fifth Uncanny
Give you my
X-Men
$8 every 2 years.
Well, that's what's going to happen, right? So, is this going to prevent?
It does come with the ability to look at the first 3 pages before I purchase it. Correct?
You could look at the whole book if you want. I'm just curious if this is.
You're going to allow me to burn steal that?
Do whatever you want, but I'm going to. Will this prevent people from buying a book? And then you have a weekly series with a real question mark of a first issue because of the price point. What do I order for 2, 3, and 4, right? Because those are orderable, and orders are due before issue 1 ships. So, real big question mark on Uncanny X-Men. And with the variant covers, it's not like you can go crazy because that's high. We ordered a lot of Action because we sold a lot of Action. We pre-sold a shitload.
Do you have? Do we know who the team is?
Yeah, it's. We talked about it the other week.
I wasn't here the other week.
Yeah, you could listen to the podcast. We talked about it.
I listened to it, but all I remember is Bryce just shouting over and what? What's going on?
No, it was.
That's my Bryce.
No, it was last week when Bryce was not here to be loud. It is Bryce Larson's son, Ed Bryson. No, it was not fully loaded. Yeah. Kelly Thompson, Matthew Rosenberg, and Mamusa Arby Silva.
Who's on the team?
Yilda Reysenar and Pere Perez.
I don't care.
So, yeah. Who's on the creative team?
No,
I want to know
who's on the team,
who the characters are.
Oh,
it almost doesn't matter who the creative team is if it's
everyone from every current X-Men book. It's all. They're just taking all the current X-Men books, smashing them into Uncanny X-Men, just like they do with Avengers.
And then after 10 issues, one's going to branch off and just be the X-Men.
It's going to be like Avengers number 200. Do you remember that cover with all the characters on it?
And then
they come in and they just pare it down.
And they're going to be X-Force.
And then that's when Hawkeye... Toby!
What?
Avengers 200. They all come aboard. They start paring down the team. And what happens after that?
The West Coast starts anew.
So people that I see on the cover... X-23, Honey Badger, Gambit, Rogue, Storm, Jean Grey, Kitty Pryde, Havoc, Dazzler, Magic, White Psylocke, Warpath, Forge, Sunspot, Colossus, is that Beast, Nightcrawler, Bishop, Gambit, Multiple Man. And like all these characters,
Multiple Man's not dead.
Oh, Polaris! And all these characters in the background, I don't know who they are because they're probably all garbage new characters.
I thought Multiple Man died.
Yeah, but there's multiple of them, so they just keep coming.
There
back.
were still
some hiding.
Yeah.
There's a couple hiding.
So yeah, Uncanny X-Men's coming back, but at an $8 price point for issue number 1. That's a bit.
I'm in.
How many of the variants you want?
Are they good?
Variants. Some will be. There's a Multiple Man variant where Multiple Man replaces other characters.
If there's an Art Germ, who's Art Germ?
All right.
Is it just that
Here, Bryce, let me show you your favorite artist.
Is it just that chair? Is sitting in that chair what causes you to just become
I don't know.
Bryce?
We need to do
Let's switch with Andrew. Maybe we'll find out.
And last, finally, Toby, sit down. Final comic-related story. We got some movie and TV show stuff to talk about. So, Andrew, I want your opinion on some of this stuff. One more license pulled out of comics, due to the Fox-Disney merger. We didn't even think about it, but of course, The Simpsons. Bongo lost the license to the Simpsons comic because that will clearly be going to Disney, meaning Marvel, meaning IDW, when the Fox merger goes through. And now another license that makes a lot of sense that I didn't think about because we've been having a real hard time getting replacement copies of some of these books. Fox has pulled the Buffy license from Dark Horse. So Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, they're wrapping up a season 12, which we knew was the final season, and now we know why, because they've lost the license, which I'm assuming, again, is going to Disney, which is going to Marvel, which is going to IDW.
It's a big problem.
Yeah. Toby, you've had a
interesting day,
topsy-turvy 24 hours. Why don't you explain this?
So certain books I don't necessarily pass on, but I feel like I'm safe on, as in down the road I'll pick them up. And Buffy the Vampire Slayer was one of those. I really enjoyed the library editions.
Those are really good.
And they're nicely priced and nicely done, and I just like everything about it.
They're Dark Horse's oversized, very
Charlie-sized editions,
but very well priced. They're like $40.
30.
Yeah, 30, 40.
Yeah. They're all they're
I think the Hellboy ones were 40.
Oh, is it?
40 or 50.
Okay.
Yeah. But
so anyway, so Ryan posts his weekly topics for the podcast. I'm go, "Oh fuck." And then I go, "I need all the books I don't have." And then he goes, "Well, they've been out of print for a while." I go, "Oh fuck." And then I told him, "Well, you know what? Which ones do you have?" He gave me a list. I'm going to give them all to me except for number 1, which is the only one I had. And then he told me which one I was missing, and then I
think 10 volumes out to date, or 12, or like 10 or 12.
And then I was crying in the bathroom, and then Charlie goes, "Oh, don't cry, it's okay," because I checked on the hub, and there's season 8, volume 3 is available in this random store in Arizona. You can just order it.
One of the most amazing things about Comic Hub is that you can actually search all comic book stores that have Comic Hub.
So amazing. And I'm like, you know what? There might be a chink in the armor because, maybe I will like the hub now. Maybe there's something to this hub thing. And I was like, excellent, ordered it. They even charged me tax, and this is amazing. Well, I'll pay for shipping. That's fine, but then I have to pay for fucking tax.
Yeah, no tax out of state.
So I'm like, this is brilliant. Only missed 2 books now that I have to hunt down, right? Because those motherfucking books go for like $150 to $200 on Amazon and eBay. So I'm like, there's no way I'm going to pay for that. So anyways, I'm like feeling pretty good because only 2 books I have to hunt down. I'm like, between used bookstores and friends and stuff and people looking at stores, I'd probably be able to get them.
Used bookstores.
Yeah, Buffy's
used
tends
bookstores
to...
get a lot of used graphic novels.
Anyways, Buffy...
That's actually where I picked up
so I was like, I'm doing pretty good. Only need to hunt down 2. And then I get a nice little email at 3 o'clock going, we know you ordered this book. The hub did some bad inventory, so therefore we actually don't have it. Or, they checked online and saw how much it's worth, and they decided to go, no, we just don't have it in stock anymore. Whichever it is. I blame the hub because fuck the hub, motherfucker. You got my hopes up. Fuck you, and fuck you some more.
Hashtag make the hub great again.
Yeah, we're going to rebel. Me and Scott going to rebel against the hub. Fuck the hub.
Not my fault that Scott doesn't know how to order a comic book.
Dude, okay.
So
no. Stop.
Coast Hub.
Yeah, West Coast Hub. The real hub. The good hub.
So Ryan says that I can't find anything. So I'm in the store 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, "Hey, Ryan, did I get this?" And he's like, "I don't know. Look on the hub."
Because you're using the garbage app. Use the site.
I'm on my phone.
So you admit it's garbage.
I'm on my phone, and I'm like,
guess who else is on the phone? The entire fucking world.
Tobias and everybody else. So I'm looking for whatever it is that I'm looking for.
Browser on your
and I'm going, okay, blah blah blah. Here we go, and search. And Ryan's like, well, press this. And I'm like, I can't find it, dude. The hub fucking sucks. And he comes over and he's like, look, I'll show you where it is. And he clicks on it, and fucking guess what? Nothing.
So swearing.
I can't find it because it's the hub brought it out in me.
It's the chair.
It's the hub. It could be the chair too.
It's also the fact that Ryan was too lazy to look it up on your account at the computer.
Ryan could not find it on the app.
Yeah, no.
So
okay,
if you want to use the hub, never just go get a 800-pound desktop working on DOS, and then go online on your dial-up.
That's how it feels like.
And then it'll go up, and you'll be able to find it just fine.
Scott, since when do you have to put a search thing?
Laptop?
And then
No.
Enter doesn't work. You have to actually press a fucking button.
Yeah, exactly.
Scott and Toby. So there is many features of Comic Hub that I am less than happy with. However, it is a good starting point. It is being fixed regularly. The app and the website are being updated constantly. Now,
who do you talk to?
Here is I talked to the
can I give him some notes?
I'll
give him some feedback.
What's
in
his
quotation
name?
marks.
Stu?
Hey, Stu! I got some words for you, buddy.
Talk to him all the time.
All right.
I want you to come to Sunnyvale, Stu.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Can he be on the podcast? We'll tell him all about the hub.
While this is going on...
He's in New Zealand.
I've been watching...
Even better, he understands swearing.
I've been watching Andrew, who's been sitting quietly in the chair with his arms crossed, and the look on his face is like somebody who's in a movie theater watching a 3-hour-long footage of just people getting hit in the balls. Where occasionally you might get a chuckle, and there's just like this glazed look.
So,
sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Why does Idios?
One of the reasons, Scott, one of the reasons Comic Hub does not work for you as well as it should is because it had to import all the data from Moby. Now, if you want to say fuck Moby, that's fine. Because
Ryan,
the
Hub ordered me a Cosmic Ghost Rider poster.
Ordered it.
No, I did not order
you
it.
Had to
I have never ordered anything.
You had to go add to cart, then go to the cart, and then go place order.
Do you know who I bet ordered it? Huh? Ryan, when he was trying to find something on my phone, Ryan probably ordered it for me going, somebody needs this Cosmic Ghost Rider poster.
Here he goes, Scott. I didn't order this. Yes, you did. The Hub told me you did.
Hey, man, I just do what the Hub tells me, okay?
See?
All right, let's...
Hub told you to give me $400. And all the Buffy books.
Well, if it said that. Let's talk about some movies and TV stuff here.
Wait, are we going to talk Buffy more?
I mean, there's nothing else to talk about. You didn't get
Have we
your
talked about Teen Titans Go? Have we done a movie review on it?
I did the whole thing, yeah.
Can you check on if they have my missing books?
I highly doubt they do.
Right.
Which ones do you
everybody.
need?
All right, first of all.
Which ones do you need? Maybe listeners can look for you.
This little cast of White Nest. I need season 8.
What? What did you say?
The White Nest.
A wide net. All right, motherfuckers. Fuck you, and fuck you, and fuck you very much. Anyways, I need season 8, volume 2 and 3, and I need season 9, volume 2. Because Ryan sold them about 2 weeks ago to some dude that came into the store off the shelf and now have to look.
Anything like that.
That's what Marshall told me.
We sold the volume 2, I think, like months ago.
Marshall told me today was weeks ago.
No.
Marshall's memory is better than yours.
Yes.
Yes. I think his memory is better than yours, my friend. You need the Hub to remember
like
shit.
Steel trap. You know
Marshall likes to remember shit based on sticky notes.
3M, Ryan's friend.
So some movie news?
But you're talking about the library editions.
The library
editions. Yeah, library editions. Yes, not trade library editions, please. I very, very much would like to have them.
Movie news.
I will pay for them. I'm not saying buy them from them. I will gladly pay for them. I'll PayPal.
Movie news.
Let's talk about some movie stuff.
Is it better in real life? Is it better?
So much better.
Is it so worth your patronage?
Random generic websites have determined that one of the movies that will start filming immediately
Sharknado 7
immediately following Avengers 4.
No, that's West Coast Avengers 1.
What?
One of the movies that will be start filming immediately following Avengers 4, fast tracked, is Doctor Strange 2. Benedict Cumberbatch reprising the role.
Cumberbatch.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
Yes. So
obviously he comes back.
I'll give you a spoiler. They all come back. Except for maybe Cap or Iron Man. But everyone else comes back. And they'll come back too.
Is he going to be Sherlock in the second Doctor Strange movie?
Well, according to the articles, that would of course push the next season of Sherlock back even further, if it happens at all, which is unlikely anyway.
So it's just combined.
I think Sherlock is done at this point, which is fine. Sherlock was nothing. Charlie, Charlie,
you woke the bear.
Okay, well, Scott, why don't you tell him what you said about Doctor Who earlier today?
Charlie knows I'm not a fan of Doctor Who.
I think,
and we'll just leave it there.
Charlie, I think we need.
Charlie is a larger man than me.
He will sit on you.
I'm faster than him.
No, but he will sit on you. I will catch you. I'm fast enough to catch you.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, let's race. Let's race outside.
I don't have my cape. We have to race in capes.
All right, that's fine. We'll race in capes.
So now,
YouTube video we're racing.
Andrew now can't even look at the ball shots on the screen anymore. He's just looking straight down at the floor.
We're gonna race. I'm gonna catch you. Charlie's gonna sit on you, and we're gonna make you watch the good Doctor Who's.
Scott's just going to jump in the water and swim away like Aquaman.
Then Aquaman will beat me anytime because obviously, I need a surfboard, yet I'm still slower.
Now, I did not love the first Doctor Strange movie, but I love Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, so I'm very, very hopeful. I loved him in Infinity War.
You mean Sherlock?
Sure. So I'm very excited for more Doctor Strange. I'm hoping the movie's a little bit better than the first one, but
TV show.
I love the character and I love the role. So
the first one was good. My mom even liked it.
Season 1.
It was all right.
She sat there, watched Doctor Strange the other day. She's like, "This is pretty good."
Sherlock.
Yeah, it was like a B. It was like a B. It was like a solid B.
Way to go, Mom.
So I'm as we get closer to Infinity War, more and more of these movies are going to start rolling out because they're good. They have to start working on them, and they're not going to be able to keep it secret.
Can we do Black Panther and Sherlock crossover? So you got 2 Mr. Watsons.
Sure, you could if you want to. You could do whatever you want, Toby.
Oh, really? Fucked up.
Not a movie, but TV show. This has been a long time in the works, but finally, officially got picked up. The HBO Watchmen adaptation is coming, and now my Wi-Fi is apparently down, so I guess I'll just do this off the top of my head. It's Carlton Cuse, right? That's doing...
It's Lindelof.
Lindelof, sorry. That's doing the Watchmen spinoff. I knew it was one of the Lost guys.
and Spaceman Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, very excited for the potential of an HBO version of Watchmen. Now, I like the movie well enough, but this would be potentially way more accurate to the comic. Now, I wish I had the quote here. If only I had.
If I recall, it's not at all doing the comic.
Well, that's so. If I wanted to pull up the exact quote here, at least I got my phone. Let me
He's
see
trying.
if I can.
Wait, hold on.
Call the hub. Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Isn't Lindelof the one that leaves you wholly unsatisfied at the end?
Yes.
So?
Yes.
But that's under the J.J. Abrams umbrella, though. It's not.
Oh, no. He left people unsatisfied in the Spaceman movie, too. With the fucking dark shit that comes out of your chest. What is it?
Are you talking about Prometheus?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you, but I will...
The Spaceman movie with the shit that comes out of your chest.
Here's the quote. Set in an alternate history where superheroes are treated as outlaws, Watchmen embraces the nostalgia of the original groundbreaking graphic novel while attempting to break new ground of its own. So clearly it'll be inspired by it, and I don't necessarily need a one-to-one,
I trust HBO.
But, yeah, exactly, right.
Well, it's a thing of, are we going to get stuff like Marionette and Mime?
No.
Where we're getting newer...
I doubt it.
Where they kind of go with different characters to expand the universe.
Well, the idea of picking up post-Watchmen, if they're like, look, people may have seen the movie, let's just examine this from a later point of view. It could... I mean, the tagline for the show is "Nothing ever ends." That's the promo text they're using.
So what you have to do is
show.
You have to imagine Ryan's giving you this information. He is so skeptical in his face about giving you all this. He seems very sad about this as a DC property. You don't seem so confident about this. And
Watchmen TV show?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be way more excited once it's happening. I mean, a Full Series Order is cool.
It's HBO.
Yeah, but I want to see what they're going to do with it, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
See Game of Thrones?
I'm going to like it. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
But I can't get too excited before things actually start.
You watch Ballers?
Really happen.
Ballers, man. Let's start there. Now we got something to talk about. Have you been up to that British dude is on that show now? He's freaking Bonzo. It's awesome.
No.
I think you should think of the Watchmen series as the later Game of Thrones seasons where they've left the books behind. So they've built off what's been in the books. So think of the Watchmen series as that template.
And that could be great. And I think it makes sense to take the movie and not just retread the same material. Yeah. That could be interesting. Stuff like with Mime and Marionette, I don't think they would use them, but they could. But I don't know.
Well, it depends on what contract they signed, since Mime and Marionette are...
Sure. I mean, they could. I just don't think they will.
Did you read that issue 6 of Doomsday Clock?
Yeah.
That was real good.
With that the one like the flashback?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, 2019, they're going to start doing this really fast. It's going to start next year.
Well, they got to keep people entertained after Game of Thrones is over.
That's Westworld.
Oh, they have they already have at least one spin-off show that's confirmed for Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're not going to have any trouble. And finally, let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about this one. We have our Robot Man.
Technically not one left. There was two.
We have our Robot Man. They cast Cyborg as a member of the Doom Patrol for the upcoming streaming service version of Doom Patrol. Kevin Sharp just melted in his chair. However, today they said, wait, Robot Man is also going to be in it. So I don't know what that means. I don't know why you're going to have Cyborg and Robot Man. That seems really weird.
Well, if the Arrowverse and that is sort of any indication of how they like playing with their shows, there's no reason why they can't start a character on one show and transition around between the shows.
No. Cyborg and Robot Man both being on the Doom Patrol show would be very odd.
Yeah, but I'm saying you start Cyborg on Doom Patrol and then transition him over to Titans in Season 2.
Sure. They could do that. While it'll be a CG character, it is being voiced by Brendan Fraser. Is going to be Robot Man, which I actually... I can see that.
Yeah. I'm in. Yeah. I'm in on that.
Wait.
He seems like he could be Cliff to me.
Why do I know that name?
Yeah,
Mummy.
Doesn't he seem
Mummy
to be...
and
No, fuck.
If it's still
Encino Man.
Encino Man! Yeah.
Or George of the Jungle.
Encino Man!
What was that devil one he was with Elizabeth Hurley?
Encino Man was the first movie I watched when I came to America on VHS in middle school when a teacher didn't want to teach.
Here's history. Watch Encino Man.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
So, I love Robot Man. I love Doom Patrol. I'm really curious to see where they're going to go.
The melting in my seat was more a sense... Don't they have a show called Titans?
Yeah.
Where Cyborg was a member.
Sure. So
it had nothing to do with the Doom Patrol.
Charlie could be right on the money there.
But I understand Charlie's point. I just mean, why even do the transition? You have a natural space
I don't know.
Because they're introducing the Doom Patrol in the first season of the Titans. I'm guessing they want to
announced.
Transition.
So Doom Patrol will be on Titans?
Yeah,
first.
that's been announced.
Well, no, I thought Doom Patrol was... I'm just talking to the air. I thought Doom Patrol had its own series.
It will.
It is.
After.
But it's...
Okay, I didn't know it was growing out of Titans.
It's growing out of Titans, which makes it a easy sort of, okay, we want to get people onto the Doom Patrol show and then back over to the Titans show.
But it would be weird if they are both on the team at the same point because they're very similar in ability and power set. It does, not that they can't do it, but
I'm just afraid they're going to make them
They aren't
robots.
anywhere close in power set.
Cyborg and Robot Man? I mean,
Robot Man's a robot, and that's it. He doesn't do anything else.
They're very similar characters.
Robot Man doesn't have like a...
Robot Man wears a leather jacket.
Robot can do a lot.
Robot Man's just a robot. Strong.
Cyborg is mostly a robot.
He's like
strong.
He just locks into the internet, and he's an alien robot. Robot Man doesn't do that.
Maybe there's something different with
that. Tell you about
Cyborg.
The Doom Patrol promo at Comic-Con?
No, I don't think so.
They were serving popcorn with some ice shit that was like fucking fogging and shit, and they served it to you.
Dry
Wait,
ice.
were you
We went
there?
into the Doom Patrol lab that was doing...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, explain it, Charlie. With the ice shit.
Dry ice.
They basically were pouring stuff over the popcorn to make it really, really cold. So when you ate it and breathed, you'd get sort of the...
Nice.
But it's got like the ice
What does
mist
that have to do
going
with
on.
Doom Patrol?
Well, it's because
It's just because they wanted a random lab kind of thing.
Beakers and Bunsen's
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Robot Man was invented when there wasn't the internet. He can't hook up.
Yeah. Cyborg was invented when there wasn't really the internet.
Hey,
That's
your
true.
favorite.
Computers
Dad,
were around,
tell
though.
you your wild thing. No, what the hell is it? That green monster thingy.
Wild
what's the green monster thingy? The DC one.
Swamp Thing?
Man thing. No. What's the other man thing?
Swamp Thing?
Swamp Thing. Yeah.
Like 7 people just said Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. That tell you we went to the Swamp Thing labyrinth thingy where they had us
this.
like we had to go, huh? Wait, what?
No, you didn't tell me any of this.
Andrew, you're on one of the all-time great episodes.
We had to
Now, mind you, this was all in the Patreon exclusive Comic Con content.
I didn't listen to that.
We had to go to the swamps, and the swamp dude would talk to us and he'd say we have to go off the beaten path, which is really right next to the bridge.
Was there foggy water?
There was foggy water,
so
and
more dry ice. It's a conspiracy against you.
And then in the end, you see this giant ball sack, and then all of a sudden you're outside of it. And I was like, wait, was that the man thing or not?
Swamp Thing?
Is it what's his face?
Shit,
Kevin. What are those?
Is that the nickname for a ball sack? Is the man thing?
But
Kevin, what are those guys called?
The ball sacks? They have a name?
Yeah.
Why are we naming balls?
No, the Swamp Thing comics.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing is when it's just really hot outside.
So pods?
What are they called?
Like the fruit things?
No,
what were they? I mean, what were they?
They're from the Alan Moore era of Swamp
Charlie
Thing.
tells me there was eyes looking at me. I'm like, I didn't see no freaking eyes.
Big glowing eyes.
I did not see the eyes at all.
Weird creature pops up and some guy comes in like, get out of there, get out of there.
I only saw the giant ball sack.
Yeah, they're from. Yeah, whoa. This is gonna drive me crazy. Yeah, they're from the Alan Moore Swamp Thing.
We have the trades going.
Yeah, and they've.
I don't know.
Yeah, those are like monsters from the Alan Moore Swamp Thing.
Oh, so that's not the swamp thingy
From Swamp Thing.
That it is part of him, or
no?
Oh, okay.
No, just confusing.
But I missed.
No, I'm telling you, the eyes I think were supposed to be Swamp Thing.
Oh, okay.
And I just missed the eyes somehow.
And got all ball sacks.
I found a lot more entertainment when the guy sent us out, and he goes, "All right, everybody's out." I'm like, "No, there's one guy still in there," and he freaked the fuck out. He ran back in. He looked for about a good 5 to 10 minutes. What? He came back out. He can't find a person. Dude, I'm sorry, I was just messing with you. And the funny thing is, the other employee, the girl that was checking us, beeping us out, she was laughing. She totally knew what I was doing.
That's super funny.
No, what I found funny is when he finally came back, he acknowledged that's the second time that's happened.
Yeah, it's not even the first time.
Kevin described the first 3 volumes of Alan Moore Swamp Thing, so we'll find the name of them. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I know what they're
the answer
called.
by the end of the episode.
Yeah,
the ball sacks?
Yeah,
they're in here.
Oh.
So is it going back to Robotman / Cyborg thing controversy, I guess, as we're calling it now? Is it a recurring role, or is it just announced as a guest spot, sort of like the whole Superman on Supergirl thing, where he kind of just shows up in 2 episodes?
I don't know. I don't think they've really talked about it. Yeah, I mean, I know there's 10 episodes for Titans, and I think we have the episode names for all those. Doom Patrol, they've just started. The Doom Patrol, there's an episode called Doom Patrol, which I'm assuming they're all going to be in, and I'm assuming Cyborg's in it too.
I would not be surprised if on the DC Universe shows, if certain characters are just going to shift to the next show. That maybe season 2 Titans might not necessarily be the same cast as season 1. So I think some of the characters will shift back and forth.
Yeah, it makes sense. And they can really experiment and just go crazy with characters and use whoever. I would love if they brought in Red Hood and did an Outlaws.
They are. Jason Todd is
I know he's in it, but I would love for them to do an Red Hood and take those characters
they'll
out.
just use the new costume design, right?
And if new costumes, it's nothing. I like the hood. I like the helmet, the ball helmet thing that he's got. I like that old school Jason Todd Red Hood helmet.
Yeah, it's really great when Batman punches it and breaks it.
Yeah. We have a ton of questions here. Let's get to some of these.
Can I ask a question while you're looking them up?
Yeah.
Charlie, I've been thinking about the customer who was in here on Sunday. I just wanted to ask this question. No, listen. Brock,
here on Sunday too?
Yeah.
This is when everybody comes in and talks to Charlie.
Ryan, I'm curious about people's opinion because I was really kind of mulling this over. Somebody came in to buy, it was a birthday gift, right?
It sounds like it.
Okay. A mother and a teenage girl came in to buy a birthday gift for the girl's friend. And they wanted the origin of Spider-Man. And
Which origin?
Well, hold on. What they were debating was the first trade of the Ditko Stan Lee Spider-Mans or the first trade of the Ultimate Spider-Man.
I would have gone that way.
Now,
or there's the not Ryan approved New Origin ones, the original trades, original graphic novels.
Well, the two they were debating was the Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, or the Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1.
Okay.
What would you say, Toby?
Ultimate Spider-Man. But I would have thrown in the third one, which Ryan probably doesn't even carry in the store. For a while, their Disney stores had these originally graphic novels of the original Fantastic Four Spider-Man. There's a Cap one.
Yeah, they were pretty poor.
The season 1 or whatever.
Yeah, but the art was actually not bad. I liked some of them.
Yeah.
I would go, but those two only. I would go Ultimate Spider-Man easily.
What would you have told them?
For today's audience.
I mean, it depends. Right, it depends on who the person is.
Yeah,
a teenager today.
I feel like the
Ultimate Spider-Man.
I feel like
absolutely, that's why it was created for.
I get some kids in here that actually really like the Silver Age stuff.
Your nephew doesn't count.
No.
Okay.
I've had more than a handful of kids that come in and they really like the Epic collection because it is very, I don't want to say simple, but it is less complex than comic books. Yeah. But I think if you're a teenager,
more straightforward too.
If you're a teenager. And I tell people all the time, look, you can buy this Golden Age or the Silver Age stuff. They're cool stuff, but it's very different.
The story from the ultimate storyline for those first 70 issues or so.
Oh, they were good.
It was a really good, not just origin, but really good continuing stories.
Yeah, I really
and
like
very
Ultimate
true
Spider-Man.
to the characters. Yeah. And very true to,
our friend here is an Ultimate Spider-Man reader. Let's have him chime in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I was totally going to say Ultimate Spider-Man, but then again, that's sort of what I'm more familiar with as well.
But when you read it, you enjoyed it,
Oh,
right?
yeah. No, I started the first issue, and I kind of read, I think, when it was out, like maybe 30 or 40 issues in a row that night. So, yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Nice. That's
so
what I did with Lost.
What was the dilemma then?
Yeah,
Which to get? That was the dilemma.
Oh,
I mean,
Brock?
I mean, there's been other tellings of it.
No, between the two.
Between those two? If
Yes,
it's a more
that's
modern,
what we
you go
established.
Ultimate.
Yeah.
If it's more modern, you go with Ultimate.
Okay, Charlie?
Charlie knows the answer.
Yeah, I kind of feel like in general, I did not really say, you must go with this one, you must go with this one. I explained the differences between comics then and sort of the fact that this was more of a modern.
So you sold them both, right? That was the job.
No, I did not sell.
You failed. Fire, Charlie.
Because wasn't Blue
the Unmen?
Yeah.
The ball sacks are the Unmen?
Yeah.
I gotta look it up, but yeah, there's a bunch of different ones.
So Charlie, just put a button on this. Tell them the answer or what happened.
If I recall, I ended up selling them the Epic collection.
Yeah. Toby.
No, I'm sure you
They
did
went
good.
with they went with the Silver Age.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Look, they looked through both. It wasn't
Well,
just
I
off
have
the
video.
cover.
I have video of it. If I
have
see
both.
the fucking eyes, I will tell you guys, but I just saw ball sacks.
I have both in singles.
We're talking Spider-Man.
Oh, I'm
And-
sorry.
Yeah, I have both in singles. I can just drop that in there.
I do. I have both in singles, and the original ones, which I've all read also, are good. But they're from 1960, and they're written in tongue of 1960 and what was
They're
going
written by
on
a
then.
40-year-old guy in the 1960s. So
40
it's, yeah.
But you have to remember, it's a 40-year-old guy that was writing in the 60s that had a very progressive thought on what was going on. That's why the X-Men were made, just for his way and his outlet to express against, oppression. Look, the X-Men are being oppressed, and there's all this prejudice against mutants. That was his way as a, I don't know, rich white guy.
Simpler time for X-Men.
I always tell people, you can go back to Action and Detective and the Golden Age stuff, but that's real hard to read. But the Silver Age stuff, I think, is still mostly readable. It's definitely a step up. It's not where we are now, but it is much more accessible. All right, a bunch of random questions. Let's hear from Justin.
No. Are we talking about Extermination yet? Is that one of the questions?
If enough people want to talk about it, no. But if you guys want to talk about Extermination.
So if I'm going to talk Extermination, I need to do it quickly because I have a work meeting that I need to do at 9. So.
Okay, well, let's talk about
it. Are we spoiling it?
So
we would have to spoil it.
I did not get a chance to read
We're pretty late
Extermination.
into this. We're pretty late into the podcast at this point.
Skip it.
Whatever.
I'm ready.
Okay, well, these
I
guys.
did my homework. You do your homework?
No. Take a seat.
Go get it.
Go steal Charlie's seat. Go steal Toby's seat and sit down and let's talk about Extermination. So you guys can talk. Toby's wandering anyway. So I did not get a chance to read Extermination, the new X-Men event,
What?
number 1 issue. Yeah. It just came out. I'll read it like this week or next week.
Last week.
But you guys had wanted
Did
to
our
talk about
homework
it, so.
because it was on the list of things to do homework
No,
about.
it wasn't. But go ahead. I want
Yes, it was. To even Toby knew it.
I want to hear what you guys thought of Extermination because that last page was like, huh?
It wasn't, huh? It makes sense.
It makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
So is this
who's the most
spoiler?
badass
And wait,
Is this
superhero?
spoiler?
Yeah, we're gonna go
spoilers, yeah.
full
Okay.
spoilers.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, full spoilers. You've had your warning. I don't need teeny bopper Cable running around. Like, it's stupid.
Cable came back and told Cable that he was doing a shit job, and he killed him. He's like, "Fuck you, Cable. You did it too."
Cable wouldn't even look like that at that point.
How did you like the issue?
We're dealing with time travel where as the future changes, there is no reason to say that you can't have divergent timelines of Cables that are judging.
Is it a time when when Cable stopped growing at 13 years old and
No, but the idea here is by Cable allowing the young X-Men to stay in the future, he's now altered time enough to create a divergent timeline where the Cable of that timeline is looking back and going, I need to fix this.
But he wouldn't have it at the age he is. That doesn't make any sense to me. He's a kid. He's like 13 years old or whatever. Like, why would 13-year-old?
25.
Yeah, I was going to say he doesn't look
hold on.
that.
Can we just refer to this Cable as
he
Cable?
He looks no different in age than the the X-Kids.
Refer to this Cable as Cable Prime?
No.
Yes.
No. Why? Is that what they call him?
No.
Cable Boy Prime.
No, I mean it's definitely a younger Cable. I do not think it's supposed to be a.
He looks like a little kid.
I don't. You only see him for one page.
Yeah, it looks like he's like 13.
Is that guy's 13?
Hold on.
Yeah.
We're gonna ask Canada. All of Canada.
Thank you for this extreme responsibility. I would say he's probably like
he still has a goddamn
18.
He looks like comic book 13.
He's
okay?
supposed to, I mean,
he's pretty fit.
Charlie, what did you think of the issue, by the way?
I've seen that happen before.
At 13?
So
it's called the copper deficiency.
I like the idea of a alternate timeline Cable. I like the amount of times Cable has died.
Get rid of all these kids. Get rid of all of them.
Two people died in the issue just to begin with.
Who did?
For me,
we can spoil.
Okay. Every single time Cable has died, I've always kind of felt like it's super easy to bring him back because if he altered time, there is now potentially a new Cable in the future to come back. And that's what this basically does, is it basically sets another Cable standing kind of in judgment of how future events have gone wrong based on the actions that have been taken by the X-Men and Cable and Bishop and
just from
all these other people, and pretty much said, look, they've fucked it up. I can't sit on the sidelines anymore. Goes back in time to basically drag the X-Kids back where they belong. Cable gets in the way because he thinks by leaving them there, it will make things better still, which this future Cable already knows didn't, because that's why he's traveling back in time again.
And he realizes that killing him is not going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
Good.
Because it's him.
Put a bullet in the head of all these kids and get rid of all of them.
No, because then...
Go back to the regular X-Men.
On page 2, he just walks in and goes, this isn't right. So he came from somewhere else to Back to the Future, Marty McFly style.
I like how we're talking about a comic book that nobody can see.
We always talk about comic books nobody can see.
And all the X-Men are dead. Cyclops, Colossus, Sharkman.
Okay, so I have to admit, there is one thing that throws me a little bit, because I did read the final issue of the actual Cable book, which made it seem like time was super going crazy. So the older Cable kind of already knew that time was unhinged to a degree.
Okay.
So it's a little weird that they didn't acknowledge that at all in this. But that being said, I'm kind of used to the do something to mention extermination and what's going on there. But we don't want you to give away anything, so do it wrong.
So just for clarification, I have not read a regular X-Men book besides Grand Design. I'm talking about the regular book since the Bendis, where he brought forward the original team.
Yeah.
So I jumped into this, I don't want to say as a newbie, but...
And you're like, what the hell's going on?
No, I could mostly follow it, but is that original team still in the present?
Yes.
Okay. And then there seems to be X-Men from various other alternate timelines all coexisting together on the same
like
world.
Bloodstorm.
So I'm trying to remember if it was in that one or not. There was a story where they were jumping all over the place. Like they ended up in X-Men 2099, and they ended up.
That was the Mojo stuff.
Is that where they picked up Blows? No, that was prior to Mojo.
No, that was the Mojo world.
Not when they ended up with 2099. No, that was like Time Crisis or something.
They were jumping all over the place with Mojo.
No, that was the Mojo stuff was after that or before that. It was not part of the Mojo stuff. The Mojo stuff was but the Mojo stuff was
they killed that one, and then they
the Mojo stuff was pulling in all the greatest hits of the X-Men and whatnot to Mojo World for the X teams to fight. What I'm talking about is there was a story with the kids. Yeah, it's the one where they also went back in time and found out that they had been replaced by the future X-Men in the past. Yeah.
So if you already have a headache, your brain's not mush.
But, sorry, there's all sorts of X-Men storylines rattling around in my brain. It's all the fun. But at some point, they did go to an alternate world and pick up Bloodstorm, and she apparently died, but didn't die, and now she's dead again. But yeah, they've tweaked with a lot of stuff with alternate realities and alternate timelines and alternate futures, and I'll just keep saying alternate since it worked.
Maybe it's just a clone.
I was excited though to see Vampire Storm, and I could identify to Ryan what the cover looked like where I had met her, but then I had to look it up. It's X-Men Annual 6 from 1982.
Yeah.
And I couldn't recall it. And Kevin showed it to me, and it was like a light bulb.
Yeah.
Just ding.
So I felt proud that I knew.
The white dress.
Yeah, I felt proud that I knew at least something that was going on here.
They brought her back in, I don't remember, was it Exiles? What book did they bring her into the regular comics?
It had to be
it wasn't Exiles.
No,
it was
recent.
Yeah.
But so that's a different Storm.
Yeah. Did she come over in Battle World? Did she come into the
No. She was already around in the Mojo Battle World stuff, but I think it was like the first arc of Blue or something.
Yeah. I knew they brought her back recently. I just didn't remember when they did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they actually brought this alternate reality Storm into the Marvel comics.
Anyway, I thought the issue was pretty good. I could follow it. I like the art. I could follow it. I'd say 75% of it, I knew what was going on.
I just want the kids out. I'm so happy. I just want them all gone.
Who kids?
All the X kids. That's what they're getting rid of.
Ones that were brought from the past.
Oh, the young team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which also
they gotta be mind wiped and dumped.
But there are two Jean Greys in this issue.
Yes.
One because they brought back the.
Yeah, I get that.
One is our multiple resurrected Jean Grey.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, there's all of them except for Cyclops, because the regular the younger version of themselves are here as well. So there's 2 Iceman, 2 Beast, 2 Jean Greys, 2 Angels, and 1 Cyclops. So just stupid. A kid. That's why I want them all gone.
Okay.
Bring back Cyclops.
And Cyclops will be back.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So.
And Wolverine will be back.
He's already back.
In his Baker's outfit.
They has to return first, and then he'll be back.
I got a question, though, for X-Men experts, which I used to fancy myself as, but it's been a long time. Okay. When Uncanny X-Men started and everyone's favorite character was Wolverine, his mutant powers were that he healed fast and he had, like, animal scent, like, tracking abilities. Weapon X laced his skeleton with adamantium, or the Weapon X program, and gave him claws.
Well, he already had the claws.
But not originally.
Yeah. Well, the idea is the trauma triggered the claws to come out, but they were already part of his mutation.
So, but this Wolverine wasn't immortal. He didn't fight in World War II. He could be killed or mortally wounded.
Well,
but the whole idea was
he had backstory for years and years. He had zero backstory.
No backstory and
he
no
would just
memory.
drop hints about his time in Japan and
and
like the love of his life and all of this.
Right. So they filled out the World War II
but
stuff.
I'm talking about I've seen a Wolverine with fire claws,
bone claws
coming up. Yeah. He's coming back with hot claws.
Hot claws.
Okay,
get your hot claws.
Really. I wasn't sure. Like one issue.
I wasn't sure if this was the same Wolverine carried forward all this time, or if it's a completely.
He
different
wants to make
character.
sure there's not so much blood, so he's caught.
No, it's supposed to be the same Wolverine carried forward all this time.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay,
did we ever figure out what was going on with that Wolverine from the Age of Ultron?
The one that they buried in a cave or whatever.
Well, because there was 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they killed them.
I don't.
We have a handful. We have a bunch of questions, but I'm not going to get to all these. We've been recording super long.
I got to
anyway.
go, or I'm going to be late for my other meeting.
Goodbye, Charlie.
Bye, Charlie.
Bye, Nadia.
Later.
Bye, live studio audience.
It's from Justin. He says, "What are your thoughts on prelude to movie comics? Do they sell well? Or are they good or necessary? No, they don't sell well, and no, they're not good, nor are they necessary."
So I brought my nephew and my niece into the comic book shop today.
Yeah.
Yep. Toby and Ryan met them along with Marshall, and I let my nephew pick out any comic he wanted. And he just searched the aisles in the trade paperback.
He's pushing him in one direction.
I did not push him in any direction at all. I let him wander, and you know that because I was talking to you as they were wandering. My niece, I can't turn her. She's into crafts and dresses and crap like that.
Cosplay, man.
She's not old enough to understand that, and I hope she never is.
Old enough to understand it or understand it?
Yeah, no. And he picked not something. I thought he would pick something from the movies, Guardians of the Galaxy or things like that. Nope. He picked Volume 1, Brubaker and Faction Iron Fist.
Oh, yeah. That's some good taste.
Randomly.
Well,
no, you guys do not understand
randomly.
This. No, this is one of his all-time favorite books.
He doesn't know that.
So, but it's
he just knows what's good.
In the genes.
Green pajamas. And you karate guy. And he hits stuff really hard.
Hell yeah. That's a great trade, that first trade.
It was. He's 10. Oh. I don't know how well he's going to like it, but he's 10. So
it's good. It's really good. David Aja stuff's awesome.
That's on my list to read.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but all these Prelude comics, they do them, and they're always throwaway. And, I don't know. We never sell any of them here. I never get people asking for them.
You know which ones I did get, though, back in the day?
What's that?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's a little different because those are like the actual
those
adaptations. Yeah. And they didn't do so many of them.
Kevin?
I remember them.
You're the only one here.
There was the Raiders adaptation of the movie, but then there was an Indiana Jones series by Marvel.
The adaptation ones. The one of them had a pink cover. Yep. Yeah, that was my favorite.
Cisco says...
Everybody in the audience is like...
Oh, Craig got it.
Cisco says, how long...
Craig,
Hey, I think I have the Willow ones.
How long does a crew think Jeff Johns' run will be on Shazam? The Shazam #1 was in this most recent solicitations that went up yesterday.
Issues.
Closer to Aquaman or closer to JSA? Long run on
let's
JSA.
Go to Ryan on this.
How long will Johns do Shazam? No, at this point he's back. I say
25.
He's on at least 24.
No.
Yeah, he's on at least 24 Shazam. Scott says 6. I give him 2 full years at least.
If there's an over and under, I would go under 12 if that's the over and under, the Vegas line.
Now that he's no longer in the executive position, he could do a lot more comic work. And Shazam's been one of the ones he's been wanting to work on for a long time. He's kind of held that character, I think, hostage. So I think he's got a long run. He will never do another JSA style run. He'll never do 80 issues. That's just not going to happen. Or like 76 or whatever it was. It's just not going to happen. But I think he'll do 2. He could do 2 full years.
Yeah, because his Shazam from the New 52, that was the backups in Justice League were really good, like really good. Like he was establishing that character very, very well to expand from. So I'm really curious to see what happens.
He did 52 issues of Justice, or like 50 issues of Justice League, right? I mean, so he does have long runs in him still. It's from Hoot. He says, what's with all the miniseries in the Marvel and DC November solicitations? New sales strategy? No, it's not new. They always do this. There's a lot of miniseries coming out, though, from Marvel. They go back and forth. Sometimes they're a little more heavy. Sometimes they're a little less heavy. Marvel and DC right now are pushing very heavy on the miniseries. Multiple events going on at the same time. Big miniseries coming up. Yeah, real heavy on both of them.
Reminds me of the late 80s and the early 90s.
A lot of miniseries.
Oh, yeah. How is that? What does that label, those DC series, the Immortal Men and is it the New Challengers?
New Age of Heroes?
They will all be gone by the end of the year.
But I thought those were miniseries. Those were meant to be ongoings?
A couple have turned into miniseries.
Okay. I thought they were designed that way.
And I mean, if they took off, they would keep going, right?
Okay.
But I think the majority will end very soon.
Unexpected garbage. Silencer, take it or leave it. New Challengers is...
And that's just a mini. It's okay.
Like, it's okay, but if you don't... I mean, if you watch Teen Titans Go and you want to know... like
Snyder is like not even writing that. I mean, he's like
editing or...
he wrote
mentoring it.
Yeah.
Okay. Damage is fun if you like Weapon H stuff, like the... all that.
So no.
I've enjoyed the Terrifics.
Terrifics is great. Yep, that's going on.
And then what else?
Immortal Men has been a little rough.
It's rough.
It's a little.
It's not as bad as the unexpected. But
hugging.
I was so excited for Immortal Men. Scott. It's shit. Okay, it's straight shit.
Chugging.
I am so disappointed.
Scott, it's okay to just walk away.
It's one of those.
No, it's canceled. It's issue 6 the last issue. It's over.
Issue 6
I've read through 3.
And
I might just tape up the rest of them.
I stopped. I stopped. I took 4 and went, nope, all back to the store. Nope, I'm done. I'm out. I'm out of everything except for
when you just are chugging, when you have to grind through comics, that's just walk away.
So Bane Conquest, I got way too far in. Issue 12, I read it, sealed it, took pictures, put it up on eBay the same day.
Conquest was terrible. Just terrible. I got 5 issues in it, and I'm like, no, I'm out. It is so awful. Hey, look, I'm saying really bad stuff about some DC Comics people. So, Justin has another question. He says, recent series such as Metal and Injustice have made me really love Detective Chimp, as you should.
Who doesn't love Detective Chimp? He's a Detective Chimp.
Does he have any good solo stories or good team-up books? Really wants to read more with the character.
No.
He doesn't have any good solo stories. No. That's just not the way the character works.
He's just better in Justice League Dark,
he pops up in Justice League
when
Dark.
He pops up, he's ongoing would be freaking terrible, and you'd hate him, guaranteed.
He pops up in Multiversity too.
Yeah, he's in Multiversity. You'd have to go back to the Silver Age for Detective Chimp stories, but I mean, then you're really because those haven't been put in trades. Those are backups.
They were backups in
House of Mystery or something,
or House of Secrets.
It was like the Martian Manhunter was the front story, I think. Or Eclipso was the front story. Wow, we're going. These are some.
It's either
cuts.
Mystery or Secrets. Secrets. House of Secrets.
Point being, those are not accessible.
Yeah, no.
So no, I have another answer. I just had to get the creative team. Shadow.
So shouldn't you put him in a series with like Scooby-Doo or something? Because I know they did a crossover with Scooby-Doo a while back, and he worked really well as a foil to those characters.
Yeah.
I figured why not do maybe not the whole Scooby-Doo Apocalypse run, but like a whole set like that.
And he's good in comedy, but he's also good as kind of fairly straight.
Yeah.
You know, look, I'm the second best detective in the world. I'm Batman.
So
hashtag Batman is California.
Shadow Pact is.
Oh yeah, he is in Shadow Pact.
Right. So I'm just trying to pull up the list here because I'm blanking on the guy's name. The problem is.
Was it Buckingham?
No, it's it's Bill Willingham as the writer.
Willingham, that's it.
The problem is those will never be reprinted again because one of the main artists on Shadow Pact was one of the guys. Was he arrested for child pornography?
Wow,
is that what it was?
Rough. Rough time.
I don't remember.
You can check behind you to see if we have a set of it.
I'm looking. I just can't. No, because Bill Willingham did the art on the first one. There was something up. With the
inker.
Nah.
Fucking tracers.
Child.
Is that a normal? I mean, it's not normal, obviously, but is that a normal thing? Obviously not. That is definitely not what I'm asking.
No, that is not the norm.
Like there's
ever.
I found that
now I have to
artists in general get caught for that a lot more often.
Clear my search history here now. What?
Go incognito.
Something happened with the guy that was.
You better have a VPN.
Shadow. See, I should really this up for her.
Bay Area comic.
So anyway, one of the artists in Shadow Pact, there was something up with one of the people in Shadow Pact, and those books never be reprinted again. But yes, Detective Chimp in that is fantastic. So, am I thinking of the wrong thing here? Like, I'm not coming up with anything. There was something up with Shadow Pact. Why? There was something where this book was just not going to come back.
You're the only one that knows. Ask yourself a question on Twitter for next week.
Maybe I'm totally wrong. I know there was another guy.
Watch, Toby's laying down on the aisle, and he's going to come back.
One of the guys just got and
spout some knowledge.
Yeah, maybe am I totally wrong about this?
What are we talking about?
Well, anyway, Detective Chimp is fucking awesome. Go read Multiverse.
You could, for the listener, or for the question was about where to read more Detective Chimp. Wasn't that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Shadow Pact is an option, but if there's no trade for that, you might have success finding a set of that book, and it's worth tracking down. It was interesting.
Shadow Pact was good, and this was Bill Willingham in the middle of Fables. So this is a good, he was right.
It's like a Justice League Dark type book.
It's the precursor to
that.
Yeah. I'll figure that out later. I'll see what's up with that. Matt says, I saw Neil Adams at a local con this weekend, and Neil Adams was charging $50 a signature.
Well.
Neil Adams is finally.
Is it a question or a comment?
He said the question, however, is what's the most expensive signing you guys have paid for? Big zero for
how much was Stan?
K-Sharp.
Stan wasn't 50 when we did it.
Yeah, I think it was. It was 50 or 60, I think.
At Phil's?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think it was 50 a signature.
Lee, Kirby, Kubert, Gil Kane, Carmine Infantino, Murphy Anderson, Russ Heath, Nick Cardy, Jim Aparo.
Are these all your signatures?
Yeah.
Legendary.
Grand total of $0. $0 for any of those guys at conventions over the years. But I've never paid for a signature before. I've paid for like a print or a sketchbook and the artist has signed something else. But I mean, I'm talking about walking up, giving them something that they literally just sign, $0. Mm-hmm. $0. And that Adams price is outrageous.
Yeah. For comic stuff, $0. For celebrity stuff, I have my Arrow and Flash poster.
But that's an item though, right? I'm talking about when
the poster was free. I paid for those autographs.
Okay.
Every autograph on there, I went up and I plot my $40 to $60 down for autograph. But yeah, not anything crazy. I never.
What was the question? How much
What's the most you've paid for an
autograph?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm the worst offender here. I have a Michael Jordan autograph, and I paid for that one.
From him, or you just bought it?
I just bought it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was at Legends. We had all these autographs, and we had a consignment deal with this dentist who gets all these autographs, and there was a Jordan one.
What was it autographed on? Card, shoe,
a picture? Like 10 by 8 by 10.
$20.
Oh no, far more.
Really? Was it a big picture?
No, like
it's an 8 by 10.
Was it framed?
Yeah.
Nice frame?
No, I took it out of the frame and reframed it.
Did you send it to Leanne when she worked at Aaron Brothers?
Hell no. I did not know her. No, look, there was a really nice Jordan one on the wall that I was saving for, and eventually someone bought it, and so I had to go for the second Jordan that was in the store, and yeah, that was quite expensive.
How much?
$100.
$180?
$180?
Yeah.
That's too much.
$180? For Jordan?
Yeah.
I don't think you could get anything for $180 Jordan signed at this point. Ask the eBay. And then I think I paid $150 for a combined picture of Pittman and Rodman together. And I think I paid maybe $150 for that one. I think. But at the time I was 18, 19. That was a shitload of fucking money for me. That was like 6 months of saving. And
here's a Jordan jersey for $210 signed.
I don't trust shit on eBay.
COA.
Go look on eBay. I don't trust eBay.
There's a certificate.
$30.
Bullshit. Not for Jordan. Is it printed? Is it an actual autograph? That might be printed, dude. That doesn't look
no
legit.
COA. It's an oil
that shit doesn't. That doesn't look.
So to go back to the question, I really differentiate between going to a booth where you're buying a signed item.
Yeah.
Versus taking an item up to the person and asking them to sign it.
Kevin bum rushes them.
Well, he
just waits. Kevin stalks the aisles.
I mean, I feel like
and then accidentally bumps into them and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Adams. Oh, but hey, I got a comic. Can I get your signature? I've been a big fan of your work." Because Kevin is so smart at this point. Yeah. He just goes on and tells them about some obscure great thing that he knows that they love doing.
You're all wrong. He follows them into the bathroom and pees next to them and go, "Hey, what's up?"
Do you at least give one stall space?
Oh, well, Kevin's not a heathen.
I've got to give enough. I got to give enough space, but also be able to reach the book under the stall.
Jesus Christ!
No, I will add a little bit. I will add a little bit to Kevin's thing. There's the straight up purchasing of autograph, like what I did with the Jordan and the Pippen and the Rodman. But there's the if the celebrities are there specifically to sell their autograph, so like what Ryan and me did with the Arrow poster, that's one thing. But if they're there at a booth promoting their own stuff and you already bought their stuff, I do kind of expect it to be free. If they charge at that point, I kind of like, nah, I'm all right.
Well,
yeah, because if you already bought their book, you already supported them, I feel like they could show the appreciation at least by putting
So
their name in it.
how many signings were Snyder and Tom King doing at San Diego?
Oh, plenty.
Cranking out for free. And then I went up with that History of DC book. I went up to get Brian Azzarello to sign it.
Yeah.
$5 he wanted.
Yeah.
$5. So I just turned around and left.
That's weird.
And you go, well, $5 isn't that much. And it's like,
why did Azzarello charge for signatures?
I think it's the people who are running the booth where these guys
that's
are.
also different.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's just principle. If I paid $0 for Kirby, I'm not paying Brian Azzarello $5.
Yeah.
And I'm totally wrong. No one involved in Shadow Pact did anything wrong with them, so completely ignore what I'm saying. I don't remember what book I was talking about. It's another book. Go buy Shadow Pact. It's amazing.
I can't find Shadow Pact on eBay.
Pact, P-A-C-T.
So
Shadow Pact?
the people that run some of the stuff, I mean, that's just their business.
Neil Adams is running his own thing.
Well,
for
Neil Adams, fuck Neil Adams. But remember when the Lost guy came to San Jose? Jorge Garcia?
Yeah.
I mean, when
he was super funny.
Oh, dude, when the handlers were not watching, he was like, you picture, come fast before they turn around, and he was totally down with it. So it really depends.
Yeah. Like I mean, for when you had John's here, I bought something and he signed it.
Yeah, and not gonna pay me. People don't pay for it.
Ryan, there's a Shadow Pact lot on eBay.
Yeah, it's really good.
1 through 25.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have those?
You also need the.
Are they here?
Maybe
the shop.
Day of Judgment special.
Get them a Comics Conspiracy. Go to the hub.
I just want to let people know that I will charge for signings.
Or Comixology.
I will charge for signings. I just made up my mind. I want
Toby charges.
Yeah, I want 25 because that'll be 2 movies.
Is there a difference between flat objects and like a ball?
I want 2 movies per ball and 1 per flat object. So $15 for a flat object. No, kidding.
All right, here is the question. This is the question that comes up. It's been coming up since 1939. Let's answer it definitively right now.
Who is Archer?
To do it.
Who's Archer?
Who's Archer? This is from Stefano.
#Batman's California.
He says, looking into your comic market crystal ball, what do you foresee is the MSRP? It's the manufacturer's suggested retail price for an ongoing comic at which comics stop being sustainable, however you want to define that.
It's going to be real soon.
At what
close.
dollar
price? It's getting really soon.
Does single issue comic books just not work anymore?
To me, it's almost now.
Monthly single issues?
There's $5 books now. They're already bothering me the hell out of it.
Monthly single issue.
The $4 already bothered me, but the $5 really irks me.
When they went to 12 cents, I had to draw the line somewhere.
Yep. Huh? Because if you're talking about, let's say that we're going to release 3 issues of Superman in a single volume every 3 months for $10, like it won't be a monthly book. It'll be a periodic collection. I think that price is higher. If you're talking about a monthly title,
monthly superhero single issue comic.
I'll be honest. I think we're already there.
$5,
but that's already here.
Yeah,
that's already here. The extension book is $5.
Well, I told you. I think Marvel by the end of 2020, Marvel's average comic price will be $4.99.
Yeah,
it'll be $4.99.
And what bothers me,
I don't think you can go past that. Is what I'm saying.
What bothers me more on the $4.99 is that the trades are going to be like $30, and they're going to be yay thick, like a little skinny thing. While not too long ago, like say a decade ago, I was able to buy a hardcover trade for $30, and I had like 12 issues at least inside. So that bugs me more than anything. Is if I go on, I'm a hardcover trade collector, and when they start being $50. That starts bothering me a bit because I feel like they should be $25, $30, and sure, maybe I'm stuck in the olden days, but
here is the answer. In 20 years, we're going to be recording episode.
I'm complaining about them being $100 each.
When comics go over $9.99, I refuse to pick them up anymore. I can't believe they even skipped $10.99. They went
you were mad about the $7.99 price
they went
tag.
Straight to $11.99 an issue.
Yeah, they skipped $5.99 and $6.99 with this fucking X-Men book.
No. Because it's a weekly book, it should just be $3.99, the same price as all the other issues. But I think as time goes on, they're just going to get more expensive. It's never going to stop, and they'll always sell because that's just the industry. That's just comic books. There's no reason to think comic books or single issues are going to go away anytime soon. No. They're selling as well as they ever have in the modern day, the last 20, 30 years. And the prices keep going up, and the prices of everything are going up way over inflation constantly. Don't argue the price of inflation, because every entertainment thing is way over the price of inflation these days. So it's totally worthless. People will keep buying them. There is no upper limit.
I would say that at a $5 price tag for a monthly 22-page comic, it's got to be grade A for me every issue, or I drop it and just wait for the trade.
Yeah.
Like, as far as like selecting what you're going to buy every week, if you're talking $4.99 per title or up, that's going to be some real high standards that have to be met for that to be bought every month.
But is $3.99? Is $2.99?
I'm saying if you go over $5 is where my red flag would start going. I'm going to be real strict.
What do you think you would have said in 1987? Do you think you would have said $5, or do you think you would have said $2.50? Do you think you would have said
I don't think I would have considered if somebody had asked the question, because I think at that 87 it would have been 75 cents.
Yeah. If someone said if this was $1.75, would you buy it? Would you be like, hell no?
Yeah. But that's still. Would you?
It's always sat around the price of gas.
Well, like I said, this has been going on since comics started, and I don't think it'll ever end, because they're just going to get more expensive.
Well,
as time
I feel
goes
like
on,
they're jumping more and more, right? From the $1.99 was $2.25 to $2.50 to $2.50 to $2.99.
They were $2.50 very briefly.
Yeah.
They did $2.75 for a minute.
$2.50 and $2.75.
But the $2.99 was the standard for a long time. Then it was like $3.25, and then it went $3.50, and then the $3.99.
No one did $3.50 except for Dark Horse.
Yeah, Image was doing it for a while.
All right. We go, $2.99, $3.99, but now it's almost like $3.99 to $4.99. The jumps seem to get higher and higher. $4.99 to $7.99.
Well, technically, the jump from that jump, but it's a bigger issue, right?
Yeah.
But the jump, from a percent perspective, the jump from $3.99 to $4.99 is actually smaller than $2.99 to $3.99. It's a smaller jump, but it is obviously expensive.
Remember when you used to go in a comic book store and be able to get 10 books?
Oh yeah, those
now
were the
you
days.
can get 4.
You still can get 10.
You used to get a good stack for $20. Yeah. A good stack.
You know what?
Dude rolled out of here the other day with a stack that fit in a paper bag. The paper bags we have here was $140.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
As a periodical comparison, which this may not exactly hold, a cover price of an issue of Esquire magazine, which is a monthly magazine, I believe is $5.95 or $6.95 cover. Mm-hmm. I would never in a million years pay that. But a year's subscription to that magazine is $10.
Right.
So I don't know if there would be a situation where if you buy, let's say we're recording this, God help us all, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, if you buy a year's subscription to X-Men, it is X amount of dollars. And if you buy a monthly physical copy, I'm talking about digitally.
Well, they kind of had that for a while.
And a monthly copy is vastly higher. Like, would you buy a year of X-Men digitally, but if you didn't get a physical copy?
Yes.
Hold on. 1 year,
regardless
12
of price.
issues, $50. That's like $2 an issue.
Yeah, easy.
But you don't get a physical copy.
$2 an issue.
No problem.
It's like $4 an issue.
Yeah.
$50
for 12 issues?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's yes, you're right. $4 an issue. Would you could just stick it there and guarantee your price locked in for a year. Would you do it?
Yeah, I already told you. Did you say X-Men? Okay. I'm in Bryce's chair.
Okay.
I have
Avengers,
to say yes.
Fill in any title that you read.
Is Rogue on it? She's been in the Avengers.
Ship that man.
Ship it.
If you could lock in a cheaper price if you prepaid for a year digitally versus how much it would cost you to buy them physically month by month, I don't know if that's a business model that would generate revenue.
I think I would read them even less than I do now.
Okay.
Are they doing?
But you'd still buy them all because you need those art germ covers.
But you'd read them less, damn it.
I think I read them less digitally.
No?
Okay.
Just buy them. Period. Give X-Men the money. That's how it goes.
I think I'm going
Creators doesn't matter.
Fine,
who's on the team?
Immortal Men. Go ahead. Creators doesn't matter. Just buy it. Keep going.
Immortal Men, you'd have to put a drop-dead price for 12 issues over a year at $6.
I think, look,
and you pay? You're grinding through 3, and you've just locked yourself into 12.
Yeah, but I already paid $12 for 3. I think it was $6. I could do it.
I think for things like titles that you're virtually married to, like Uncanny X-Men, Fantastic Four, Batman, Superman, all that stuff. That price bump, you just deal with it.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be like, oh, there's a new miniseries coming out, you're going to be, oh, fuck no.
So I'm actually in reverse of that, because I know the big books will sell no matter what. I will actually go pay for the single issues, like, say, Ironheart and stuff like that, knowing that they need my support. And the big ones I'll buy in trade only or something like that, just because I know some of these smaller issues or independent books, they just will not survive if you don't pick up the single issues.
And the other thing is you might not get that hardcover that you want of that because they don't sell so well.
It's possible. That hasn't happened yet. Possible. Birds of Prey, please come number 4. Chuck Dixon, please, DC. You're probably not listening to this, or maybe you are.
Yeah, I think there just is no upper limit. I think if they went all $10 tomorrow, that's a different story, right?
And we close shop.
But if
then we'd all have brackets.
If it's incremental, it's okay.
If every 7 years it's going up $1,
but it's not every 7 years is the problem. It's going to be like in 2 years, it's going to be $6.99, easy.
No, I think by 2020 we'll hit. I can see by 2020 we hit
$5 going to be normal.
$4.99 as the regular price for Image and Marvel.
Yeah, so you only get 4 books for $20. That's just
and then give it another 5 years, and you're up to $5.99.
And all your omnibuses is going to be normal price at that point. It's not even omnibus prices.
The graphic novel is $125.
Yeah, you think I'm joking?
The omnibus is going to be $500.
But I mean, go back and look, right? I mean, if you pick up those trades that Marvel and DC were doing in the late '80s, they were $4.95. Right now, they're $19.99. You go back and pick up a paperback book from the 70s, they were like 25 cents. Now they're like $8.99 for a paper, $9.99 for a paperback book.
I think the thing is sometimes it also depends on like quality of the material, because I know that like Doomsday Clock is $4.99.
Mm-hmm.
Each issue is $4.99, but it's got the harder cover stock.
There's more pages. Too.
There's more pages. Like know, there's something that I feel like I'm adding to it, even with. DC upping most of their books to, all of them $3.99 now, right?
Mm-hmm. Except for the Age of Heroes and like the kids stuff, but most
of them are $3.99. But they've changed the cover stock or the interior stock to a lighter, like poofier paper
for some stuff.
But I love it because it makes the books lighter.
Yeah,
but I don't mind it so much. So it's give and take. When Marvel did their price increase from $2.99 to $3.99 almost a decade ago, and they were changing the cover stock to the interior.
Yeah, they're real
like
shit paper.
It was like really shit paper, and it was like you're charging me more for shit
Didn't
paper.
Marvel go $3.99? It wasn't 10 years. It was
because they started doing some of their books like 10 years ago at $3.99. Some were still $2.99, and then they
not 10 years ago. No, it wasn't that long ago.
I think some customers would have to ask themselves, how much is my monthly budget?
Right.
For single issues.
Right. Well, I have some people that their monthly budget was $50 in 1997, and now their monthly budget is $50, right? And that's a very different thing. You don't have a budget. Get out of here.
Hey, Scott just put up one hand in the air while scrolling eBay with his thumb on the other hand. Oh,
Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Okay.
I don't have a budget.
Yeah.
I just come in and buy what's in my box.
Yeah, and I tell Ryan all the time, you can add anything you like to Scott's box.
I actually have a budget.
Like a Ghost Rider poster.
The only problem is Ryan yells at me every couple of months going, you got to buy the rest of your fucking box. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
I buy my box every week. Well, Ryan knows it. I'm a consistent
I buy my budget
customer.
every week, and then I get behind, and Ryan yells at me.
Andrew, what do you think? You are still technically here.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
He's like, I gotta go back to the hotel.
I can't feel my ass.
I just don't really have a perspective other than as a buyer. They get you little by little, right? Even when you say it was 25 cents, but that you have to look at it relative to what people were making back then also. And yeah, technically in some industries it's less now, like say video games per se, just because I have a random knowledge about that. Yep. Like games are technically less expensive now and they don't meet the demands. But for me, they get you. It's easy to get you when you just increase it like $1 here, $1 there over time. And honestly, I don't think people are going to notice. And I think a lot of people
notice.
but you're not like everybody else, unfortunately.
Toby is not.
Unfortunately, but
or fortunately.
Well, you get. I mean, you said you read manga, right? I mean, when Tokyo Pop and Visitor had the big manga boom in the early 2000s, the books were cheap, right? $6.99, $7.99 for a lot of those single volumes.
You're wrong. First of all, it started with Viz, and there were $12.99 or $14.99.
Originally,
the big ones,
right?
And then Tokyo Pop came in; they're all $9.99. Then Shonen goes, "Fuck you, Tokyo Pop! This is really our market," and they did $7.99 books.
So that's what. So during that part, those books were cheap as hell, right?
$7.99 was a great price.
But as time has gone on, they're pushing in America at least the larger formats, the 3-in-1s, the kind of.
But that's later though. They did it to $9.99 for a long time.
Right. So they still have a bunch that are that price, but I've seen a lot of them that have gone up to $10.99, $11.99. So we're starting to even see the manga prices have gone up.
Not that much. Not like the comic.
Oh no,
books,
it's very it's very similar in a lot of ways. It's especially because I did buy a lot of the manga at the time, and especially if your series was not popular.
Yeah.
I saw my books go from $6.99. I'm converting to a USD here. Go from $6.99 per issue to by the time it was hitting the end of its run, I was paying almost $13.99.
Yeah.
Over and that's over a 4-year period.
Yeah.
No, but on the
like
manga
Tokyo
you
Pop.
get a lot more per issue than you do in the American comics.
And I put that money down because I wanted to finish that series.
Yeah.
So.
But would you try a new series at $13.99?
Not without, either a review or a friend suggesting it to me beforehand.
And that's why I'm
just
not
out of nowhere
too concerned about Uncanny X-Men coming out at $7.99 for the first issue. Again, people will buy it. It's just like that is gonna hurt the random people that said they may want to try to get back in the X-Men. But Scott's gonna buy it. The regular
put an art germ cover on it, you'll be fine.
There will be, I'm sure.
But
just get an art germ cover on that thing.
Scott, for a person,
that's the answer for everything.
For the Bizarro World, Scott, who let's say has a $50 monthly comics buying budget. Okay, that's 10 titles you can get in a month for $50. So you're gonna this imaginary person is gonna say, okay, if every comic is $4.99 now, here are the comics I enjoy reading the most, and everything else, to quote Bryce, can go fuck itself. And I'm not going to sample anything new. I'm sticking with the things that I love at this price. I'm sticking with those, and
I think a lot of your older collectors or the guys that get comic books are going to stick with the heroes they like.
Oh, and that's what Toby was saying.
And they're not going to venture out.
Your West Coast Avengers and your Ironheart won't even make it past the pitch point because they won't be able to sell enough copies, right? If it goes way against the average price that people are willing to pay for a comic, because people will default to, I'm going to buy Spider-Man, I'm going to buy Batman, because I buy Spider-Man and Batman. That's just how comics work.
I'm not even going to say it
for American stuff. So,
hashtag.
All right. That was a very long episode of the Comic-Spiracy Podcast. Bryce was here in spirit, I feel.
Yeah, that was almost channeling Bryce.
It was.
Something about those panels above him.
We have to thank our good Patreon backers, including Andrew Nelson-Mendez, who's sitting right here at the table.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thanked in person.
Remember, guys, legend in Canada. Legend.
That's what I hear.
Hashtag.
That's what I hear.
Hashtag.
Legend in Canada.
Hashtag.
Legendary.
Moon Knight is Canada.
Jesus Christ.
And we will also thank Julian Titus at Nerds Without Pants Podcast at pixelbit.com.
Oh, no pants.
There you go. Yay! All right. Ryan Hess has blowhards.
You know the no pants thing started.
Yeah.
Toby said it one time, and I came back because I wasn't on ever, but I am friends with Toby.
Yeah.
And I said, dude, Toby, I love the no pants thing. And then he just went gangbusters after that.
Yeah.
It was
Well, it was me saying hello to you. It's like Karl Malone wiping his eyebrow whenever he shoots a free throw to say hello to kids. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to say hello to Scott Shea every time with no pants.
Because we haven't had a Hey Mitch in a while.
Oh, Jesus.
That's your own fault.
Yeah.
That's your buddy.
Mitch, you gotta just get some stuff in.
Blowhards.
New Mitch.
.libsyn.com, that is.
New Mitch.
Blowhards.
All different Mitch.
Yeah. Jody Larson is canon, the Triad Comics Anthology at TriadComicStudios.com. And thanks to Sam Shea, Craig Anderson, Joe Deff. Oh, I just said Andrew Nelson-Mendez. I threw you at the beginning of the episode. But the list. But I'll thank you again.
He's here physically.
But I'll thank you again.
He's a physical.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep doing physical things on audio only.
Welcome to the
quite
outro.
all right.
Here we go.
We do it. Yeah. We do that too.
Right. Just for us.
Yes, we do that too.
And I love how 3/4 of the podcast talk off mic during most of it.
Are you talking?
See, because I hear what the people listening hear in my head because I have a headset. You guys don't, so
Just get more mics.
I have to add, even though the hub has been kind of making Ryan not as popular in customer service recently, Ryan has called me up a couple of times and go, "Hey, Toby, this book is in. Do you want it?" And I appreciate that about everybody. Yeah. Like the old Ryan is actually creeping back a little bit, So, I enjoy the old Ryan.
What is the old Ryan? What era is that? The old store?
No, pre-hub.
Oh, pre-hub.
Pre-hub.
Oh, okay.
As soon as the hub came around is when New Ryan happened.
The character was rebooted with the hub.
Yeah.
I don't know. In his defense, though, he did say hi.
Oh, be careful. I can strangle you from here.
I don't disbelieve that. He did say hi when I walked in earlier, so I don't know. From the stories I've heard, sometimes he doesn't even say hi to people because he's on Twitter all the time.
That's not the hub. That is Twitter. You're absolutely correct on that.
I say hello to every single
but when he says if you were talking to him and he said
you're out.
He was on Twitter the entire time.
If he's saying okay. Yeah. Okay, he's toned out.
Yeah.
He's not even fucking listening
on Twitter
anymore.
Talking about Joy Division with some jerk-off in Idaho.
To be fair, he was engaged in an already previous discussion with people, so maybe that's why he wasn't on Twitter as much.
No, Blake was here.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate old Ryan coming into recently. Yeah, I just want to...
Well, he knows that you're not going to use the hub, so he has to ask you...
Yeah, no, but I appreciate it. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah, I like old Ryan.
Darfox
Fuck New Ryan and the hub.
You don't like the new 52 Ryan?
Yes, new 52 Ryan could fuck right off.
Darfox 8 at Manga Machinations. Larry Davis says the Stand and Deliver podcast about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Talk about manga. Do you like JoJo's? Do you ever watch it?
I'm going to say yes for my own protection.
Oh no,
I've only seen the first bit, and I do like what I've seen so far.
I really need to watch the new show. I heard it's really good. And Kevin Scheller has righteouscomic.com. Go read his webcomic there, and you can order print copies as well right there. They're very righteous.
They're what?
Okay. Comic Conspiracy Podcast can be found at comicconspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, as well as iTunes. Please rate and review. It always helps people find the podcast. YouTube.com/comicsconspiracy. You can also listen to our podcast there, and I keep threatening to do some actual more video content. I need to do that someday soon.
We have hand motions and stuff. We should do some.
I know. The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net is where you can send us some emails. Oh, I actually meant to read some emails today. Next week.
Sure. Good luck, those email writers.
We should just do one episode of just emails.
Yeah, I'll be like...
Yeah, that'd be a Patreon. That'd be a Patreon episode for email guys that did not join Patreon.
They're going to be from like 2013.
Yeah, there'd be an episode. Where do you guys think Grant Morrison's Batman is going, ultimately?
All the way to Green Lantern.
Wait, we forgot to ask Charlie something really important today.
What's that?
It was something about the Omni Bros?
Yeah.
No, we have to ask Charlie about the next week about the Omni Bros.
So if you're still listening, and we are on the outro at this point.
They always are.
And hold on, Andrew, do you always listen to the outro to make sure?
No.
Well, because you guys actually do stuff like this and it's not a pre-recorded outro. Yes, actually.
Yeah.
So as a tease, there is a Facebook group that Charlie West belongs to called the Omnibros. Omnibros. ... To be continued, true believer.
Please ask the question about the Omnibros.
They have rules in their
people.
community about the omnibuses.
The Omnibros.
Omnibuses.
Boosies.
Patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. Please kick us $1 or $3 there. The more you give us, the shorter these podcasts will become. And we'll just stop all of this. I'll just do this. That's better. There we go. There. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can buy all your digital comic books from us. We get a little kickback every time. Every time you guys buy digital comics at digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. And please visit comicsconspiracy.biz as well, which is where I don't even know. I totally missed it. Comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can purchase physical comics from us, which is shipped by our lovely shipping receiver manager, Brock. Lots of great stuff on there. And you can sign up from the Comic Hub at comichub.com. Sorry, customer.comichub.com. Conspirator Brock, .com is Brock's blog and video pullets. Wanderers of the Fourth Dimension podcast. That's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. That is my wife Leanne's Etsy store. You can go on there and pick up some cool prints from Leanne. I'm on Twitter. Ryan Higgins. Ryan. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce is Larson Bryce. You should still follow him. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie is Insanity and Chaos. The store is Comics Con Store. Geekbox, Comedy Button, Manga Machinations, and the Infinite Binge podcast. That is where you can go and listen to other things that are close in relation to us. Does Andrew want to play? Yeah, sure, why not? Where's Red? 3.
Now that they're back
on. Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at FrigimonFanatic, FrigimonFanatic. And I also technically have a podcast. I talk about anime and sort of like a sort of semi-interview format where I talk about people's like journey through anime from like childhood or whenever they start to like now.
Our Patreon tier is to promote these type of things, and I reach out to people, so you have to let us know this so I can promote it on the podcast.
Now you know.
Okay. What is the name of it?
Joe says, right?
Go Joe?
Knowing's half the battle.
Oh, right. There we go. I forgot about that one. Canadian. It is called Recovery.
I like how Toby's still talking to the mic.
Oh, yeah. No, his mic is off. I can talk. Right. Recovery of an Anime Junkie. Yes. Or ROAAJ cast.com. No, I shouldn't have put 2 A's in the acronym. That was a bad decision. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you all, everyone. I will have to go back and listen to the last 5 minutes of this podcast to try to figure out what the hell happened and something about I don't even know. We'll catch you guys next week.